death loner.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We were like, is it worse to get it on the loner or on the dead guy? He's got both.
Well, at least it's not like the zombie that came from that line woman also got the MVP on the other side to make no one
But
happy.
but Zombie did something because it's sitting in 12 SP.
Probably got an injury? Or a score? Probably an injury. 7 means injury. Or 2 passes. But we don't believe in 2 passes.
On a zombie. Sounds
And there's
unlikely.
interception.
That as well. But no successful interception. A lot of
Oh.
blocks. But
60 blocks are a lot of blocks for 5 injuries, Daya.
and 45 on the other side, so 105 blocks. That's definitely a high block match. But a nice win for the Necromantic, and it might be enough to put them on the table for a spot in playoffs, especially if there are a lot of draws at the top and some critical losses.
Yeah, this was possibly a really harsh game for the Amazons because if I remember correctly, Drop Dead, your Juice have a lot of guard
Yes.
and simply basing the zones with all the guard players and forcing them to dodge out to try to survive. They can try and force some 1 in 9s, even 1 in 3s if they have tackles. So yeah.
Yeah, and I assume they came into that match with a lot of MNGs because of getting 10 injuries against Bainsy.
Yeah. Baines is playing an amazing season.
He had a tough start, but like week 4, 5, and 6, he just bullied like elves and Amazons. But it stopped this week with the primetime nibblers. Sean Man beating him 4-2. Still a lot, like still a massive amount of blocks and a lot of damage. But I think Sean Man probably just scored quickly and a lot, and it's tough to keep up with Skaven, especially when they have a strong team.
He knows what he's doing with the old rats as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Hindus's big rat, which is like by definition the only strategy of Skaven.
Yeah, the dice were more, at least in the bash aspect, more in the nibbler side with less blocks, but more damage. Slightly more only, but yeah, that kind of sucks. If you can't kill the rats properly and allow them to hit back, then you have a pest problem.
Yes. Oh, and then Andy won against the Three Musketeers.
Wow, 5-2.
That's impressive with a natural one-turner on the rats, but I assume that injury on him might have been very early on, and it really like blocked the game plan of the Skaven, and a lot of blocks.
God.
Again.
Every game.
Like,
Yeah.
60 blocks every game.
Yeah, well, I think he plays a lot with the frenzy of the witch elves that give him extra blocks, and then also the chain pushes generated by this by his good plays. He builds the plays really well, so it's quite normal that against a high strength bash team, he can simply outblock him heavily.
He does base quite a lot as well.
No.
With his Dark
Still.
Elves, Andy, I've noticed. So
Still, 60 is a very large number.
60 is the typical number that you see from high frenzy teams such as Norse or Dark Elves or even Necro when they
And
use their
Korn.
walls.
Don't forget about Korn. Yes. Frenzy does pump up your block numbers, but still, I argue that 60 is a lot.
I'd say so, especially actually when you're scoring that much. Because every time Andy scores there, the Skaven should, getting their line of scrimmage blocks and everything. So
Yeah, but the Skaven make only 1 KO in the entire game. So that
Also,
really
only
sucks.
2 armor breaks in 32 blocks. I think there is a competition that we aren't aware of in Division 3 to see who can get like the worst blocks to armor breaks ratio.
yeah,
Like-
blocks, but the least breaks. Yeah.
Like 32 and only 2 is pretty good. And it's not. It's probably better than 60 blocks but only 6 breaks. So right now, you are winning. If we need to have a very stupid prize that isn't really a prize for Pixie Rail if he keeps that title. So for
That would be another fun stat to track, wouldn't it?
who is the worst at breaking armor?
The best at blocking, but the worst at actually hurting anything.
King of pushes. So for the final match we had Chaos against Nergal. I already see damage from the start and actually some breaks. Quite even on the blocks. Thermal pulling ahead with a little bit more injuries, but they might have arrived a little late. Overall it ended as a 1 draw, which is not too surprising considering it doesn't seem like someone completely combusted.
Yeah, I would imagine that was probably quite a cookie cutter game, as it were. Both scoring in their own half, probably.
Oh, MVP going to the Armor 7 Beast is kind of a waste.
MVP is also a place where we have a stupid competition of who can get the worst MVP. Right now, the loner Amazon that died and became a zombie is winning.
Yeah, indeed, because she became a zombie. Had missed that completely.
Yeah. So let's look quickly at 14 teams. We start with Bainsy because he's first on the list. And Bjorn is still not at Legend, but he's really close right now. 7 points away.
He's performing consistently well these last games. He's been in the top of the star. How is it called? Don't remember.
The player of the week thing if on the Gman
Impact players points. Like being in the top 3 for several weeks in a row. I think that he's the team, and the other players are just fillers.
Well, the runner is not bad, and a lot of linemen. So right now, 1 dirty player, because we did say we'll do stupid sounds for dirty player, but it can be 4.
Oh, it can be 4. That will be so incredible. So OP.
Like, so this team
Viking
definitely
Cop's gonna have
gets...
dreams about that tonight.
Like, this team is definitely in a good position. They have a bench, they have dirty player, they might have more dirty player, and they might have even more bench, which is all you need in life, according to Viking Cop.
More bench and more dirty players.
So yeah, actually...
More bench and more dirty players. Repeat that. Repeat that mantra.
What would you guys get as the final skill for the legend?
Plus strength.
Like,
plus strength, yeah.
Yeah, like most skills are really awkward, because with what you have left, like guard is not that good, stand firm is not that good, because you never want to get hit. So
you could try Dauntless.
I don't hate Dauntless.
I guess the only negative to that is that you do have access to it on your runners, but you don't really want to be hitting stuff with them, I guess, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, and the runner doesn't really need it anymore.
Oh, it's a plus strength, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess guard isn't the best, like, synergy with piling on, obviously.
No, because he's
at the end of the day, he hasn't got any
there.
guard, so it might be useful to have something, I don't know.
Well, the big problem is, like, especially with movement 5, guard is, like, really awkward, because you never want him to get hit, he's so expensive and good.
And he's normally going to be the one doing the hitting rather than assisting. Yeah.
Like, and if you base him up, people are going to focus him because he's an armor 7 target. That's really good.
You know what would be really cool as last skill?
Yes.
Dirty player.
Because 4 isn't enough.
Yes.
Thick
because
skull.
in this way he can even drop himself to the floor trying to kill his opponent when he's not blocking.
Thick skull. He should take thick skull. So yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of
actually, do you know what? Actually, a lot of people do take like defensive skills as the last couple of skills they take. What about like fend or something? Would you consider that? I don't think I've ever taken fend on someone before, but
Well,
maybe.
just think that this guy is going to lay on the floor 90% of the time because he's going to block and then pile on, block, pile on, rinse and repeat. So, what can really help him do his job better? I only see Dauntless because in this way
Yep.
he can block stronger players with one assist.
Dauntless is
No, I
good.
don't.
Maybe something for protection. If you have like doubles, you have a lot of nice options. Like dodge isn't bad, because
Pass block.
that's a normals.
Ah, really?
Yeah, it's general.
Just
Oh,
in general.
I always
General
think
skill.
that it wasn't. Oh, it really sucks.
Also, like
Um,
any stat is probably good. On 10, I probably take armor, because
mm,
armor is not that bad when you have everything else. Agi is not bad because you dodge and hit someone, and strength is always good.
yeah. So basically, he's hoping for a stat or a double.
Yeah, because normals are awkward. Also, he probably hopes for a lot of doubles on these linemen. Because
He doesn't
yes,
need doubles. He only needs 30 player.
yeah, but like imagine 3 guard.
That's 3 less dirty player.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
3 more guard.
yeah. But remember your principles, Gerber. Okay, no, but a garden in this team would be helpful.
Yes.
Not Bjorn,
I mean, yeah,
but yeah.
Also,
he
the
didn't
Yeti
like
is
some guarding.
missing, but it got 2 points, so just an MVP away from the level.
There is only 2 points for a level in the first Ulf that I would go guard with this one.
Should definitely level this Ulf up. He's destined for glory.
Nothing to do with what it's called. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong one. So, both of them actually are about to level up.
The Spare Prick brothers are also playing this team. Spare Prick number 5 and Spare Prick number 9.
Well, one of them is with only a K, and one with a C and a K. So it's a completely different name, and it's not that he forgot that he already had one on the team and then hired a second one.
Yeah, they're
Definitely
probably cousins or distant relatives.
So yeah, let's move
Nice looking
to
team.
yeah. It's still has like a way to go with the second berserker, with the Yeti, with the Wolves, but it isn't as destroyed as it was game 1 of the season, and it's good.
And it's close to getting a legend. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, having a legend is fun because when he dies, it's even more fun for us at least.
I will note this down for the last game of the season. Um,
Yeah. So second team, Drop Dead Gorgeous, the team with all the guard.
all the guard.
I
One guard
believe.
is missing though.
I
Tom
bel
Uchten? Torm Uchten?
Also another dirty player.
Yes. Bueno.
So that's
Uh,
2 dirty players. Ha ha ha.
With potential 3 more, remember. Potential
Yes.
3 more. Potential
Yes.
3 more. Bainsy, listen to us.
Two,
We
two,
know
two.
what we're doing.
Well,
We know
maybe
what we're
1
doing.
or 2, but 3 is overkill.
Okay, let's do the following. If he rolls doubles, he's allowed to get guard, but if not, fuck, he must get the player.
I wouldn't hate 1 kick.
Yeah, the player is a kick to the balls, so he can take that too.
I believe some of the level ups here are new. The piling on the white is probably new. Same with the mighty blow on the flesh golem. And maybe the dodge on the wolf? But
Yeah, one wolf was fresh. He got dodge first. That's funny. That was the exotic Keirus approach to his wolves.
no, he took block on both first.
Okay, I'm just checking the white. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Blotch White. I'm not sure if I. Okay, for
It's
sure. Once he gets guard and stand firm, he will be a terrible
yeah,
roadblock. So another mini flesh golem,
it's
but
good
still a
long
long way to
term.
go.
Like this team needs better wolves, but like it's solid. Like they have all the guard, but it's not usually why Necromantic win. They usually win because they have sick wolves and they just carry the match. So it's a little bit weird, but it's still a good team.
Well, I think that one of the biggest issues that Necro have at higher team values is that they can only have a maximum of 4 guard without doubles, which makes it really difficult to play against other like heavy bash teams. Um, the game completely changes when you have that many guard on your zombies. Like, I think it's when he does actually manage to get his werewolves to a better place. I think it's going to be a really strong team. Like, it's actually probably one of my favorite
Yeah.
teams. I really like.
Well, that's assuming nothing dies.
Yeah, there, but you know.
So yeah, it's a good-looking team. It's developing slowly, but surely. And the guard is really going to help when you reach that point when the team is scary. Next team, we have Thomas Tees and his Dark Elves. They got quite beaten before, but it seems like they are recovered in term of bench at least. Well, they're on 11, which is good, maybe?
That's not bad. I mean, they have no
Those witch
loners.
elves got some pretty good level ups there.
Yeah, they are still... I believe this runner is quite new, because the other one died, and they are missing the leader for the third reroll. And some of the blitzers are also rather fresh, but they are developing back quite nicely.
A lot of bloods in this team.
Yes.
That's very
Also, I
nice for
believe this
us.
is his second Mighty Blow Witch, because this one is 3 matches old, which is disgusting, and it should die.
Yeah, I should die. Burn the witch.
Like I'm pretty sure me from like 2 3 weeks ago said it's really sad that he lost his witch, but at least he has a second one that's good. But now he has it back. I might need to check that and give a ban for admin abusing to Thomas T.
Yeah,
I'll have a look
maybe
on the
maybe he cheated.
league manager thing.
Mhm. Nice looking team.
Yeah, it's a strong Dark Elf team. They
Yeah,
still need the bench, and no dirty players is super sad. But
yeah,
like,
but yeah, it is sad. Boo.
such is life.
Yeah, Irma 2.0 was Mighty Blow, block, tackle, sidestep.
So yeah, he's definitely rigging the dice in one way or another. I don't trust you anymore, Thomas.
They're a little bit like werewolves, aren't they? The witch elves, I find they just seem to have it like hard coded that they're just going to roll doubles and stats and stuff.
Yeah, well, wolves really need doubles to shine because of the combination of mighty blow with their natural claw is so powerful. But witch elves are so flexible, such an amazing player that you can build them basically in any way, and they will be a great asset in your team, even if they only roll normals,
Yeah.
because of just frenzy, dodge, or blotch with an easy combination, or rush with wrestle, the access to ag scale with such sleep. uh, I mean, the possibilities are infinite.
Yeah, and having that strength for Juggernaut Surfer, that's going to be pretty scary.
Thomas
Play
in
against.
chat confirming that he did indeed rig the game to get that mighty blow.
Aha, we know something was
Caught you
happening
out.
here.
Yes, so next team we have Brutal Deluxe by Dokmar.
Oh, humans stacked
And
with
they
stats.
I
Fastest humans ever.
first thing that's like popping out to me is I'm pretty sure the movement on the thrower is new, which is slightly odd, but makes some sense.
Movement 7 thrower, movement 7 ball carrier. That's a blessing. That's so good.
Also, Uh, doesn't MNG Dirty Player count?
Uh, in spirit, yes.
Yes. So third one onto the counting.
Yes. With three more potentials. Remember, Bainsy, Bainsy.
In before
What do you
all of
guys think
those are
about
flanked.
the movement on the ogre?
Well, the movement on the ogre has been there for a while. I don't like
Yeah,
it,
I'm just asking about it.
but
Yeah,
I've come to
Dogmar
terms with it.
has a point. Now the thrower has become like an extra blitzer. That's kind of cool. Like that.
Well,
And also
he does.
the fastest ogre ever. So nice.
Actually, I have seen like movement 7 ogres on the ogre team, because there they are actually your ball carrier.
Yeah, but because ogre teams are absolutely bullshit. So
Yeah, they're really bad.
they're really fun also.
Halflings are better.
I love halflings. I'm having so much fun with them. I'm really looking forward to Games Workshop releasing a new tabletop team for halflings.
That's probably going to be good, unless for some reason like the trees have spikes, so now they can do more damage because Games Workshops.
Who knows? So what we have in here, we have a fast guard stand for an ogre that is really a good roadblock. We have a blitzer thrower who has also accurate and leader, nice, and block. We have a guard lineman and some super developed blitzers. One
Yes.
is agility 5, one is a John in the build.
Better than John, because John is movement 7.
Mm.
Yeah, it's move and busted,
But
right?
he's in the build because when he reaches Division 1, we will make sure he's just like John.
He could be just like his hero.
I also
Bloodguard tackle. Sorry, Jabber.
You also can live the dream of being plus movement, minus movement, and join a variety of special players like Juan Ganjan and John in Division 1.
Yeah, exactly. And Pedro too, maybe? No, Pedro is only minus movement. So we have a very nice looking team with 5 guarders, 1 dirty player, 1 super bullshitty agility blitzer, some utility blitzers, 1 killer, and 3 throwers that are actually quite developed, and one of them is a sucker. This looks really solid to me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very strong all around. Maybe you would have liked to have a little bit more guard by now, but like 5 is not low, and like you have everything you need really to win games, except maybe more dirty players.
You also don't have line of scrimmage fodder with this team.
Yeah, that's true. You have
Mm,
so
that's a good
many
point.
positions. Like the kicker cannot go on the LOS. The 7 positionals don't really want to go on the LOS. The thrower doesn't want to go on the LOS.
Ah, wait, he has 190k in the bank, so that means that he will probably get an extra alignment for the next game. Otherwise, he has only 1 bench.
Yes.
And with humans, I think you really need a medium to solid bench, I'd say.
It's still like awkward, I would say, to
Two
say.
million TV, what's this madness in Division 3?
Yeah, I would like to know from Docmark, who does he put on the LOS? Because I assume the Ogre is there. Probably the Guard Lineman is there. But who's like the third? Because
He said he had another guard lineman, so I'd imagine it's the rookie and 2 guard linemen.
well, but you
What?
still either bench your leader or one of the catchers on defense, because you have too many positionals with the kicker, or you don't use the kicker, and that's really weird. Because why do you take kick if you don't plan to use the kicker?
Maybe you want before you develop your team to extreme levels, and then the kicker is, uh, how do you say, sacrificiable, expendable. I really like The agility 5 blitzer movement 8.
Yes.
It's a kind of semi-half war dancer. It's so good.
Needs
And also the
sleep.
team is very fast. I mean, movement 6 7 6 6 8. No, sorry, 6 8 7 7 7 8 8 8. This looks more like an elf team with agility 3. That's the only drawback.
Uh,
But
Doc,
a lot of guard.
yeah. Doc Mark saying that he usually fields the dirty player, ogre, and the guard guy. So I really wonder who do you put on the bench? Do you just put the blodge catcher on the bench
Wait, you're
on
putting the
defense?
dirty player in the line of scrimmage? Why are you doing that? That's not
My
his
kickoff is
job, man.
triggered.
That's not his job. He's not there to die. He's there to put the boot on the face of your opponents.
Do
Who
you
would
want me
you
to
put on the line
remove that
then?
dirty
Do you have a
player?
catcher there or something?
Ah, disappointing.
That's part of the problem of carrying so many positionals. Especially like with the thrower having leader and so many skills, you don't really want to bench him on defense. So you have like 8 positionals and a kicker and the ogre, and you don't really like putting any of them on the LOS, but especially against Claw. But like you
Yeah,
have to.
this is an easy solution. You go for a bigger bench. I mean, when all your players are developing to such good levels, you need fodder. You need expendable players. Expend players that you know that are going to die and you don't care about that. Especially if you are really stocked on cash, as brutal deluxe is. Almost 200k. Come on. Somebody kill some of these players. So he
He needs
can
something
spend
to
his
spend his
money in
money on.
something, yeah, useful.
Help him waste his money. He's too rich, and it's a really big problem. No one likes being too rich.
Yeah,
That really
exactly.
sucks.
That's so bad.
So
Also,
hmm? Yes.
no, three catchers is kind of borderline for my liking, but all three are developed, so no rookies. That's nice. You don't
Well,
want to fire the guard for sure. You don't want to fire the sucker because he has tauntless. Uh, and the bloods is always nice.
yeah, but Doc Mark maybe thinking the 3 is a little bit too much.
Yeah, because it's also a bit bloaty. This additional catcher with bloods only is 90k.
Yep.
It's almost the price of two rookie linemen to put in the LOS.
And like if he's benching him on defense, that has to feel bloaty. But it might be worth it because having another blodger on the pitch when you need it is nice.
Mr. Finger, Doc Mark? Ah, I can guess. This is a thumbs up! Yes! Yes!
Now let's move over before we become a 4-hour show to the Revolutionary Corpses, and they
Oh,
have
Camry.
another dirty player.
Yeah!
Woo!
With the potential of making the replay in the throw rat too. That's very nice.
No, it's not gonna happen
Why not?
because it's a thrower with blood.
And
That just means
that
he's got a better chance of getting to the foul target.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So what are you going to give
Join him.
What are you going to give him? Accurate, Hail Mary pass, or dirty player?
It's probably going to be
Dunno.
long today,
Ah.
Steve. But yeah, like lots of guard on this team. Pretty nice Tomb Guardians. I believe the break tackle on the strength 6 is new, and that's pretty scary.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so good.
Also,
Yeah, that is very scary.
I would like to see what he takes on the thrower. Maybe
Dirty
just
player.
no, probably leader on normals or tackle, but doubles or stats can be very interesting.
Dump off. No?
Mm,
Fend?
I'd probably give it tackle, I think.
Yeah, I think either tackle or maybe leader for another reroll.
That's so boring.
Um,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that the throwers are these kind of players that really benefit from rolling stats or doubles. For example, being blots is very good for him. Kick of return is very nice also. But plus agility is like a blessing for them. Plus strength is cool because it makes them more resilient as ball carriers. But plus agility really boosts their play style. I don't know. It's very hard to say. Tackle. I don't really like tackling a ball carrier.
Yeah, but like on defense, having that tackle is nice, and
Yeah, but you're not going to blitz with him.
well, you do
Ah,
blitz
well,
with him if you need to hit a blodger, because you don't take the chance of like rolling a pow on a 2 dice.
The reason I don't mind taking tackle on throwers as like a later skill, or ball carriers, is because a lot of the time they're going to be further back anyway. You know, they're not going to be ones right at the front regardless. So they're kind of already in the rough position of a sweeper as a bit of a safety. So giving them a skill later on in their development that helps them do that, I don't think it's
yeah,
a
but
bad
do
shout.
you think that he's really fielding this thrower on defense?
Yes.
Because I
Yeah,
would not.
probably. Would you not? Mm.
No, you have a long bench. You don't want your super valuable but fragile thrower being hit and removed from play.
Well,
I
I
mean, because
think
if I'm playing this team against this team, the thrower is a main target for me. It's strength 3. It's already armor 7. Okay, he has no thick skull. Yeah, I think it's a piece to protect, not to expose. But it's only
well,
my line of reasoning.
having another block guy on defense is still valuable, and the movement 6 makes him a good sweeper, a lot better than a skeleton for that job still. Because like, if you don't feel like the throwers on defense, then you have a very like an even slower team from a really slow team to begin with, which is
Well,
usually not to your advantage.
on the other hand, you have a strength 6 break tackle Tom Guardian that can work as a sacker pretty effectively, I would say.
Yeah, but he's slow and probably like easily based up and locked up because he's in the front.
Break tackle.
Yeah, but you can dodge once.
Or 2 if you roll a 5 plus. No, a 4 plus because
Yeah,
it's
dodgy too.
agility 2! Point for me.
I think that's the happiest I've ever heard you sound, Viking Cop.
Yes,
Well,
I got the point.
I think he was slightly happier when he thought about Bainesy taking all the dirty players
Oh
on the
yes,
level up.
that is that's a dream made true.
But hey, it's a nice Camry team. Like, maybe more development on the Tomb Guardians, but more dirty player. You don't have too much you're missing right now. A little bit of tackle would be nice as well.
No, I think tackle, but leader, yes, leader is very helpful for Camry teams.
Yes, more
No,
rerolls.
I agree. Leader would be quite a good shout. um, with you want to be blocking a lot with your Tomb Guardians, and obviously in general they're not going to have blocks, so having an extra reroll is not a bad thing.
Yeah. Also, you do need sometimes help with a silly play that requires agility, because you're RG2, you need that reroll.
Yeah, if you fail that really important pickup, or you just really need to dodge someone out for some reason to get your cage going or whatever having an extra reroll, it's a good shout.
So next team we have the non-hires by Mr. Ladybug, and they were really beaten up before, but actually it seems like they recovered mostly. Although they did keep a
Mm,
Niggled guy, and the AV6 guy, and the Movement 7 guy, so maybe this is going to bite them long term, because
Throwers that got a niggle as well at the bottom.
nah, parents don't count. I can tell you. You will see my team later.
this is
Still
an
the bleachers are the bleachers are very good. The stupid movement 10 agility 5 catcher is still around. Movement 10? Why is okay movement 10? Yeah.
the
Um,
the
this one is also good.
Yeah, the one with strip ball now, I believe strip ball is new, is really scary as a ball sucker. Still would have liked to see him have wrestle, but
Wrestle.
he took block before agility.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But okay. He has another wrestle catcher with tackle too,
and Niggles.
uh, and niggle. But okay, next level could be also leap. Having two different options for sacking is always nice.
Yeah, but
And then he has a guard who is missing next game. Sorry, pity. Then a thrower with block. Cool. And another thrower who is also nickeled. I think this was nickeled from the beginning of
yeah,
the season.
not sure if from game one, but he's been niggled for a while, and it's really weird, like that he keeps him when he can just remove him and use the other thrower for that job.
I think that playing with two throwers in a Pro Elf team is kind of valid because they're not expensive players. It's only 10k more than a lineman, and with pass you have a backup. Also, they skill up really easily, and when one dies, that will eventually happen. You have the other around. If they don't both die at the same time, of course, this happens. We've seen it. No Bowie players.
No, there is this one. The movement busted catcher is a David Bowie. So
Oh, nice.
I'm not gonna do a David Bowie count, but there is one for the David Bowie count. So yeah, it's a nice team. He has some crazy catchers, but the thing, especially with a lot of teams, that when you get stat busts on players that's tough to replace, like you really need to sometimes be willing to let it go, because eventually, if he takes like a perm on the last catcher, this team becomes really really weak because you all of your star players are not so good and very expensive.
Well, they're still very good, but they are a bit more fragile. But I think that he doesn't even have the cash to afford replacements, and he's going to play with one loner next game. So I am on. We can discuss about this for a moment. I have the opinion that having a bust in a player is not always retiring for them. I mean, if the player has one skill or maybe two skills, you can think about this. But once the player has three skills, and if he is a really good or decent positional, I can live with that.
Well, especially with not having bench, like Steve mentioned, having two niggles and an AV6 guy, like being fragile really hurts when, like, if he gets injured, no one replaces him, not even a rookie lineman.
Yeah, but for example, the catcher, the movement end catcher, in theory, is not playing during normal game. He's
Well,
just
there's
there
no
for the
bench.
one time. Yeah, that's why I say in theory. You know.
Like, if we ignore the current position of the team, then sure. But, like,
Of course, he can always get inducements. If he's playing Dogmag, for example, he will get like 200k inducements, and with that he can get a couple of loaners, mercs
well, it's
to
still,
fill.
with the two niggles as well, it's still rather easy to force him to field that
Well,
guy because of
on
AV7.
the other hand, you can use this Armor 7/6 player as a bait because everybody is going to try to kill him. So if you can just put them in a place in which your opponent has to move or position some players away from the action or from the real action, is actually making a very good job.
Yeah, in being 200k that ends up in the injury box for the rest of the game.
Or not. I mean, it's the same armor as a halfling, and halfling survives
Uh,
sometimes.
Sometimes.
well, very soon you learn that sometimes is not most of the time.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, definitely, especially when he has a little bit more cash, there is decisions left to be made. Because I don't know if you can keep all those sperms. But maybe you can, and I'm wrong in... It's still going to be tough to recover from here, because he doesn't have the money or the bench, and the team is quite battered. Next team, the fan favorite of last season, the not so doing
Hey,
well this season, Random Boy, and the Bloodsuckers Inc.
the vampire overlords.
And
How are they doing? How are they doing? Count Vladimir Rasputin is only 4 SPPs.
they are not doing well. Like, they are very similar to how they have been before. The block has been like on week 5, I believe
Oh,
we saw the block, and
Donald
everything
Trump
else.
is a monster.
He is.
And this vampire too, but I mean, the taxman. He's lots of development, but he's keeping his team in the 1500 range. That is quite cool for vamps because they perform well, let's say, or decently at least in that aspect. He has one dirty player.
Right.
I am very happy now.
Yes, but only one. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I can't push on Random Boy for that because his players keep dying.
yeah, he...
So
Go on.
no, it's just that. It's just that it's very sad to see a player die, especially if he is a dirty player.
Yeah. Like, Random Boy has like 2 nice vampires, the third one is not bad, but the team is overall not performing. Like, his thralls are okay. He would have liked some doubles by this point.
Oh, Work! I remember Work from the playoffs. Work was completely left behind during one game because Random Boy forgot that he was close to his to his scoring line, and we were just making all jokes about Work. That now is agility 4.
Yes, which is nice. He's definitely going to be... Actually, no, he usually likes carrying on a vampire, so maybe not a dedicated ball carrier.
Well,
He-
but a passer.
Maybe. But yeah, like having no sure hands, especially against scary teams like the one we saw from Mr. Ladybug, it's really tough to win that game against Strip Ball in RG5, and he doesn't really have enough support on the rest of the team to do stuff. Like, he has 2 tacklers, and that's it. So he doesn't really bully elves well. He doesn't have Mighty Blow, only 1 dirty player. So still a
Yeah,
long
but he
way to
doesn't.
go.
He doesn't need Mighty Blow. He only needs the rolls from the playoffs.
Well, those are gone as well, considering he's on a 1-1-5 record, I
Yeah,
believe.
he spent them all during these games, but they will be back.
Yeah, there was also like a point where he had like a thrall called Division 1 or 4 Division 1 or something like that, and he died. And I casted that match, and obviously my response was, well, that dream is gone.
Yeah.
And it seems
Well,
like,
I,
at
I
least
think
for next season,
I don't
Division
think
1 is
he's
not the
dreaming
way.
of going to Div 1 because Div 1 is the graveyard where all teams go to die.
Well, uh, the orcs are technically alive, and they've been there
Uh,
for ages.
I will um, complete your sentence. I will say that orcs are technically alive for the moment.
Ah. Also, like, Dreamify has been in Division 1 for ages, and like, he doesn't care about his team getting beaten up every single season.
Maybe this has gone a bit too far. We will check later.
Yes.
Okay, so next team. Next team is Underworld.
Now, this is the moment like where Viking Cop really doesn't know if he likes the team or not, because they don't have dirty player, but they are Underworld. And it's a
Yes,
really
Underworld is so
tough
good.
decision for the Viking Cop to decide if it's a good team or a bad team.
Aye, this is difficult. So we have okay, a good killer, very nice ball carrier, a sucker, pseudo soccer, let's say, and then a lot of crazy. Oh, we have Gerard the wrong way there.
Yes, he did get armor busted a few games
Who
ago. We
cares
saw
about
that.
armor
Yeah.
when you're strength 4 horns?
Yeah, he's still on the team, but he's pretty expensive for a strong halfling. A very strong halfling.
A strong halfling with horns.
Yes.
And armor 6, yes. It's
That's-
movement 6. A fast, strong, a fast and a strong halfling. That's it, with horns. Nice.
He got a double though on one of his goblins and didn't
Yes.
take dirty player.
How do you know that?
Because he took block. And this guy, he took block. It could have been dirty player Viking Cop. It could have.
Yeah, but he was already 2 heads. So,
He could have taken pass
That
block.
just means it's easier to get to the person you're about to stamp on.
no. Dirty play is the right way to go. Absolutely. Because you can dodge everyone in a 2+ and then make a foul.
Exactly.
And it's clear that Nathal punished him for this.
Yes.
Because this guy is missed next game. Or Nigel, maybe.
No, just
Not missed next.
this game.
He
Some
has a
light
broken
punishment.
jaw. Which of the both?
I'm not sure if like the second head has proper teeth. No, it does have teeth. So
The mutations of this team are so funny.
They are the best mutations in the game, aren't they?
Why,
Fit,
why
like,
so many
visually.
players with extra arms?
yeah, I don't like that. I would have liked to see sidestep on most of them because sidestep is nice.
I would like to see big hand instead of extra arms.
I go
I'd
for
probably
that.
agree with that. Yeah, but I think in general, getting the skills for retrieval does kind of make sense. Having that strength 3 horns one, you're gonna maybe be stacking the ball a bit more than normal. So having players to retrieve is good. But I do agree that at least one of them probably should have been big hand.
Also, a Can You're Drunk, a Dirty Player is a general skill and it's doubles on gobos.
Yeah, he was saying that when we for the last team, Viking Cop was
Oh.
saying that he wanted some doubles on the lineman.
Sorry, I was distracted thinking of the potential the primetime levelers have at the moment.
Oh. Well, not all are looking okay. They have like one good of each Skaven and like the one ban. So like a good blitzer and a really bad blitzer, a good thrower and a really bad thrower, a line rat and a really bad line rat. Because line rats
A line rat. Really bad.
Well, all
think they've
line
been
rats are
dying?
actually really bad, but well, I will take that. And the troll really needs an additional level up.
Yeah, but like, I know that claw is better than the tentacles, but look
No,
at
but
these.
the tentacles
Look at
look
these.
cooler. They look amazing. Tentacles.
I don't think that claw is necessarily flat out better than tentacles. I just think it is good to go claw first because it at least speeds up the development and you're going
Well-
to get to your next skills faster.
The thing is, like, I would argue that guard is the strongest skill, but you take claw first because it gets you the other levels. So it's like,
But guard in an underworld team, really.
like the thing is, you don't have anyone else to get it, and having a guard is really nice. It's a lot better than not having guard at all. Like guard is that skill I might even take on a doubles on a goblin, because the 2 heads guard guy is really good.
I'm just looking at his previous players on the league manager thing, and he did have a mighty blow claw piling on. So that's probably where that one's gone. He also had a wrestle tackle line rat, but the really interesting one here, he used to have a block claw thrower.
Well, it's
Don't
the
know what that
only damaging skill you can take on normals, really, outside of maybe tackle. Like, I do actually like sometimes taking mighty blow on a lineman on the normals, just because he can take block, tackle, and claw. Like taking mighty blow on the doubles and going claw, mighty blow, block,
Yeah,
and that's like
Yeah.
now you have 4 claw, mighty blow, which is the ideal amount, and it's really weird and fun.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad shout. And you only really need, one of those linemen to be like a sacker or something. So having another one that's a bit of a killer, I could see that. It would be quite fun to. I wouldn't mind playing an underworld team at some point and just going like claw first on everyone.
Ooh, more snacks from Viking Corp. What is he hitting now?
Sorry? Sorry, I had to leave for a moment. I realized that I had to run out of cheddars and I was still hungry. These are not cheddars, but they will work.
I was going to say, is it all cheddars or do you have variety?
No, this is variety. I have a whole drawer in the kitchen full of stuff.
Yes. On that note, let's move to the Amazons. The Locomotive Gits Stompers by Hammersep. And they look battered as expected considering the match against Bainsy. But the Blizzards are okay, I believe. So life isn't too bad.
I might have gone sidestep on the Frenzy Blitzer.
Well, sidestep is doubles.
They don't have access to agility, Amazons?
No,
For
they
free?
have general
he's
and
right.
strength.
It's general and strength. Yeah, he's right.
Yes,
I was being dumb.
I know the rules. Unbelievable.
So impressive, actually knowing all the rules.
And you can
no,
go
you're
for
right.
Stanford.
You're right. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. In that case, Sandfirm was a great pick.
Also, the guard on the pomp tackle blitzer, I like that. Having guard is good.
Having that is always good. Um,
Like,
yeah, this team has suffered some battering.
yeah, I
That of
believe they
late.
lost some line women with skills, but they're still looking okay. The minus movements don't hurt too much. They still have 2 line women with guard, which is nice. I would like to see more of the blitzers get guard as soon as he can, but the team is not bad. They just probably want to go back for a little bit more bench, because they are going to have 1 loner for next match with the 2 MNGs.
Yeah, I think it looks quite good though. In general, once it's got a couple more skills, like you said, a bit more guard or something. They've got their killer. They've got Surtha, which is nice. A good one at that as well.
And he has also kind of 5 blitzers with that guard as non-firm linewoman, sorry.
Mhm.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it looks like a pretty strong team.
Yeah. Now the big question to Viking Corp is, what do you think about
Yes.
no dirty player?
No dirty player. I am really disappointed, especially with a team with Amazons, with line women, sorry, with only costing 50k. I mean, this team is built to have at least one.
You heard that? Get your one of the wrestlers should have been dirty player, or maybe both, or maybe everyone should have had dirty player at this point. I don't know.
No,
I'm not sure.
dirty players. Everyone having dirty players too much, but 4 of them, wow. Bainsy, Bainsy.
To do it. I believe Seanman might have dirty players to satisfy you, as he does have 1.
Another dirty player.
Ooh. I believe one of
Wow.
his gutter runners died, and he actually organized his team. Or maybe it was the other team that wasn't organized. One of the rats were really bad at organizing the team. But now,
So this team has 2 incredible stone vermin. One of them is Nigel, but who cares? Because he's going to level again.
I believe he's probably going to take piling on unless something interesting was rolled. Maybe on doubles you do take horns or jump up. Both are a common skill that people like. And you take
Sunfire
strength.
was the leading player in terms of casualties in the entire Gman last season, and this one I think is performing very well. 100 SPPs in like 2 seasons. That's monstrous.
No, he's over halfway to legend in quite a short time. It would be a shame if someone kills him next season in Division 1.
Shame. Bounty. Then he has 1 Turner. Yeah.
Yeah,
One soccer with deep,
I really
one
like the
utility.
soccer.
Utility, I'm not sure. Diving tackle to a blood step. Oh,
Well, usually you kind of want to get doubles on the utility to take
well,
guard or like big hand, depending on your preferences, and not rolling doubles make it a lot awkward to get a utility guy.
yeah, sorry, random boy. I'm just hungry and eating my Cheetos.
It's, it's very important, random boy. Do not disturb the eating of Cheetos.
Yeah, the feeding is the most important part of the day after the siesta.
But yeah, maybe Sean would like to have slightly more of a bench, but he's on 12 and he can get a 13. So yeah, this team is pretty strong. He would like to see the last gut runner becoming a little bit better, but it's a strong team, very scary, especially with those storm vermin. And if the storm vermin don't die and the natural one turner doesn't die, he's going to be a massive contender for the first place in this division and probably for next season as well and in playoffs.
Yeah, the Nibblers are already a playoff team, right?
Yep, they have a good chance to go to playoffs, induce Big Rat, have Big Rat die on turn 2, and then not win because they induce Big Rat, which is the dream, really. That's why you
Really,
go.
that's appropriate. That's fitting.
Let's move to the next team, the other Rat team, the Three Musketeers and Spurs, and they are not doing as well as
Ooh, 1150. What's going on here? They're dying?
well. The one turner is just MNG, so you can
Okay,
handle that. It's a
that's good
minus
for
movement on
them.
the guard, which is okay. Yeah, like the team is really lacking when you compare them to Sean Mann's team. The gutter runners are felt like they were built with less purpose. The sacker has not the best synergy with block and strip, and the utility is also quite confusing. And he doesn't have insane storm vermin to carry him, but it's not bad. Having the one turner is still strong, but he's not as in as strong of a position. Also, no dirty player, so sad times.
No, no, this team is decompensated. The lack of dirty players is going to kill them. They will have to, yeah, they will pay a high price for this. I'm sure of that. So nobody cares about not having good developed storm vermin or nice, really nice stacked gutter runners, but the lack of dirty player. Ah, poor rats.
Like you can win without good storm vermin or gutter runners, but no dirty player. That's why you lose.
I'd be interested to know when he lost his last Storm Vermin. I think it's maybe a little bit odd to have gone guard first if you both your Storm Vermin are rookies.
There's one of them that is 1 match old, and Steve says that his tackle pommer died the week before he faced against him, so 3
So he
weeks
probably
ago.
picked the guard when he already had
Yeah.
he still had a killer.
Yeah, the guard one is significantly older.
Right, that makes sense. Then.
Yeah, he needs to rebuild from that death, but on the other hand, we have a team that never finishes developing, and that's Sermol's Nergel, and they do have 2 dirty players.
Oh, Serumol, you are the best. You are the best.
Based on that, that might be the strongest team yet,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, like it. Well, Bainsy can go to 4, so maybe depending. Probably, yeah, very possibly no on the dirty player scaling.
I have my fingers crossed.
Oh, Steve is saying that apparently, it's the last team, but the tackle pommer for the Skaven Blitzer only died because he went AFK and couldn't apple it.
Oh,
Feels
that really
bad.
sucks.
Yeah, I bet he was angry about that.
But yeah, like this team didn't change much from what I remember from it. Do you remember anything new, Pink or Viking Cop?
I have an awful memory, so I don't know about that. But I do think it's interesting that he went tackle on the Mighty Blow block warrior instead of claw.
Yeah, I know that this division is stacked with agility teams and that he really doesn't like not having tackle, so it makes sense, at least for this season. And like tackle is
Yeah,
not bad long term as well.
yeah, because all his tackle is in his killer, that is really good. In a rotor, that okay, it sucks. And then in a warrior, that can work as a killer because when he blocks armor 7 players, he effectively has claw.
Yeah,
So that's also good for him.
yeah, it's
Oh, it's not a bad skill. It's just not something you'd normally see, really.
yeah, it slows down both taking claw and guard, which are key skills. So there is setbacks to going tackle so early. But
Ken's saying that tackle makes a good support for the beast and Nurgle. I mean, it kind of does, but I mean, if the beast and Nurgle is doing his job perfectly, people probably aren't actually dodging away at all.
well, I think like you support the Beast of Nergal more with having like more guard next to it to make it really tough to do anything next to the Beast of Nergal, especially against the more guard heavy teams like Amazons, who you still need to tentacles, but you also don't want to get knocked down by them.
Yeah.
But yeah, this team doesn't change too much, but it's still not bad. They need more development because it's Nergal, but Thermal is doing quite well overall this season.
Yeah, there are two Nurgle warriors about to level. One SPP only away from their next level. That's nice. And yeah, lack of pestigors in this team.
The double movement one is pretty insane with the dodge. And he has three, so that's enough for now when one is still a rookie.
Do you know, I've been running 3 pesticles for quite a while now.
Right.
I only did it in the first place because one of them died. But
Oh,
I didn't end up picking up the fourth because it's actually quite nice just having more rotters. You can put them all on the line. If you have 4 pestigores and all 4 Nurgle warriors and your beast, then you end up having to put one of them on the
On the
no,
LOS.
bench, yeah.
no. You only need a bigger bench. I mean, the expendable rotors are only 40k. You
Well,
can have 3, 4, 5 of them around.
No, but literally, if you want all those players on the pitch on defense, then you have 4 pestigores and 4 warriors and a beast of Nurgle, you have to put one of them on the LOS.
yeah, like especially if you
All
have
right.
like I don't know, you have like one rotter with dirty player and you want to actually use him on defense. Well, he's still going to go on the LOS because you're not going to put a Pestigore and the beast or the beast and a warrior on the LOS just to protect him.
So I've
Well, it
been
depends. It depends on against which opponent. If you're playing elves and you're really stocked on guard, you really don't mind putting warriors
Well, it
and
also
beasts on the
depends
line.
on the elves. And also, you don't like putting the beast on the line because it's really easy to avoid it when it's on the line. Because, like, you just run forward past the beast and it's never fast enough to reach you.
my beast kept dying as well. I think I've had one die every single season so far, or get like minus AV or something like that. And I think a lot of that is because he was on the line all the time. And okay, you might have AV9 or whatever, but at the end of the day, if you're getting hit down all the time, eventually something's gonna stick. I think it's really. I've just been quite liking not having to worry about that and just putting rotters on the line against all the bash teams I've been facing.
So,
So I don't think it's the worst. I think it's like a matter of preference. It's literally only the last. It's like 4 or 5 games that I've played with my Nurgle team that I've had the 3 pests, and I've been quite liking it.
It also really depends on how developed your team is, because if like all your pestigores are maxed out, you kind of want another one just to max him out as well, because the beast is getting weaker and weaker as you go up in TV compared to the other pieces.
Hmm.
Because no access to mutations easily is a weakness. Also, really stupid is bad. And with that, let's move to the next team, to Samoa from Steve, which is still the team that takes lots of Mighty Blow, and also doesn't look much different considering, like with all that Mighty Blow you would expect more development. I believe the guard on Lash is new, and that's about it. Maybe the tackle here can be new, and the block from the last time I saw them, but not a lot.
Yeah, it does look pretty similar, I think, but you know, he's performing really well with them. So
Yeah, the Mighty Blow is doing enough, and he's getting killier with every single level.
Well, he has already 2 Mighty Blow. That's already cool.
Yeah.
So if he gets some guard, this team will start becoming really scary.
Yeah, only one guard is a little bit lacking, and no dirty player.
And no ball carrier, right? Because
apparently,
plus movement dodge doesn't count.
I think he had one that died, and the plus movement dodge is going to be the one dedicated to ball carrying from now onwards.
So you are giving the responsibility of the ball to T, you madman?
Yeah,
apparently the claw on the warrior and the block on the plus strength beastman are the new skills.
I don't think we've seen the tackle for like we haven't seen the team for 2
But
weeks.
yeah, I'm just gonna reiterate one more time because I'm not sure Steve was here before, but he's in chat now. I just
Pink. I just heard you say I just and it cut out. Is my internet alright?
We've lost Pink?
I think.
so I'm getting a bit of issues with my sound here. Are you still
Okay.
with
He's back! He's back!
He's not
Yeah.
dead.
us?
He's not dead yet!
I'm not dead.
So yeah, how they are performing this season? Which is the record?
I believe they are right now on top with Sean Mano. Yeah, they're on 5-1-1, which is
Yay.
really good.
Really good. Yes. Good job.
Well, I think Pink might had something to say, but he's like semi-dead. He's in the process of using regen.
He needs a 4+.
Yes. So, in the meantime, let's go and see Andy Davo's team, which started really strong and isn't doing as well. And I see a Blister is missing to start with. They took quite a lot of damage across the
No,
season.
because you remember from the match review that we made at the beginning, the Super Blitzer got the MVP but died.
Yes, that's true. Not in this match, in the other one. Against Man. Yes, here.
Big Rat doing the job.
Big Rat Man Milk.
So he still has an insane amount of bloods in the team. He has average decent bleachers, only 3 of them. Good witch elves, with one is a sucker, the other is a blood tackle, pretty nice. A dedicated runner, ball carrier with leader, pass, accurate, and then bloods everywhere and some tackle. Only one tackle, 3 tackles. Okay, that's nice. No mighty blow in the team, no dirty player. Come on, Andy.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
he's going for the block into dodge spam. It worked really well to start with, not so well in the last few games, but the team is still quite strong and very scary to face, just cause of sheer amount of blood. But definitely, like, the higher you go in TV, the weaker the blodge spam gets, because people are starting to have to be able to afford to have like 3-4 tackle, which means that even if you have 3 blodgers on the LOS and I can only blitz a blodger, I can still always hit you with tackle. But yeah, it's a strong team. He's not been performing as well as he started, but he's still third with 502, which is not bad at all. So yeah, we're just after the halfway point of the season. So are you going to reveal your plans for the path to the playoffs, Viking Corp? Or
Um,
are you keeping it secret? Who do...
okay, we can make some bets
Yes.
on this. I would like to say that Andy Davo is probably going to make it because he has a good team and he's a very, 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 very good coach. The other teams still have some critical games to go, but this time I like to put a confidence vote in Samoa because against all odds, they have been performing really well so far this season. And now that the team is developing to the point in which Chaos starts working because he has the claw, he has the strength, he starts getting some guard. I hope that he gets more as soon as possible. Yeah, I think that this team can really do some really good things during the rest of the season, especially uh, after checking that Steve is a very good coach.
Yeah, he is a good coach, but I'm going to first of all give it to my boy Sean Mann, because he has a great team. He's a good coach when he doesn't induce big rat, and I really believe in his chance to go to playoffs. And also Doc Mark with his insane human team is also a big threat. He's really close in points still, and his team is really strong, and he passed most of the tough matchups. He has Andy this week, I believe, and after that it should be smooth sailing on paper. So he's definitely a threat to anyone in the top, and I
So
will.
we are setting the barrier to get playoff spot at minimum 24 SPPs. That means that even then the teams that are now at 8th, 9th position are able to do this if they just make a really good streak of games and win everything till the end of the season.
Yeah, I think that with only 3 spots, it's going to be even tougher than 24 points to actually end up qualifying.
Yeah, no, the 24 is a safe bet from my
Yes.
side only. It's possibly going to be 25, 26.
Yeah. So, like, even though like Thermal is in the middle of the table, I have doubts about his chances to go to playoffs. But I would definitely say that anyone in the top 6 is a massive contender, and even maybe Crow Dog can do some things just because of the guard.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see who actually manages on top, and we are going to have some really crucial matchups like Doc Mark against Andy Davo, which is like, if the winner of this one is definitely going to push the other one a lot down, and it's a matchup where a draw feels unlikely with all the agility.
Well, you never know. We have Random Boy asking me if I am not going to vote for him to go into the playoffs.
Where is Random
I
Boy? Which number is it? Oh,
He's at
11. 11. Yeah, now I
no, but
see him. He was
no, it's
so
not the one.
down below that I wasn't able to
Yeah,
see
I
him.
think that for these vamps, this is not the playoff season. This is the build the team season, develop the vamps. So next season they can really come back and kick ass. So I think this is a wise move from Random Boy trying to focus on team development and getting bloods and all this crazy bullshit in all the vampires. And if he has luck, also developing a couple of thralls. But at this point in which they are sitting at 4 points out
It's,
of 21, mathematically, is it possible mathematically because
I
they have
don't,
6 games remaining in the future?
I don't.
22 points. He's not reaching the 24 points
Yeah,
barrier.
it's just a little bit too far from actually making it, especially because a lot of teams are like pretty much already out of reach. Like Steve needs like 1 win, and it's pretty impossible to actually cross him. With 2 wins, you're at best drawing him. Same
Yeah.
to Sean Man.
It
So
must be said that we are sad to see the Vamps not going to the playoffs and killing everybody as last season.
Yep.
But well, we will take it differently, and next season we will have some really crazy developed vampires around.
well, I'm not going to go through all the matches, Steve, because that's too much time. But I'm not sure if like unless everyone starts drawing each other, like people will just overtake him naturally. Cause like if someone wins Andy Davo against Dogmark, that's another guy really close to pass him with just 1 more win, even if he wins every game. Also,
Yeah.
to finish off Division 3, the most important stats. How many dirty players do you think we had in Division 3? Because I know the number, I counted. Don't count.
5.
No, we
5
had
with 4.
5 with...
Yep.
Well, we had...
With
With the Bainsy ones, that might happen.
yeah, with the basic one we may go to close to 10. It makes me so happy.
Now we have 8 in the division
8.
with...
Oh, that's a nice number. Division 3. Still a bit lower than average because how many teams are in Division 3? 14. That means that
That's like
at least
100 dirty players to few.
yeah, still a lot of development to come.
Yeah. So 8 plus maybe 3 from Bainsy. Probably not, but possibly like 9 or 10 after Bainsy rolls his level up. And with that, we'll go to Division 2 where Infinite Pink is playing, but he's dead. So
I am actually here. It's just
Hey,
Oh.
he's
He's
alive.
not dead.
Heat region.
you keep going very robotic for me, so it's a bit hard to chime in too often. But I am here.
well, we're going to look at the matches just like before. So you played against JJ Cash and lost. Anything you want to say about that match?
To be honest, I think I deserved to lose. We were 1-1, and I made the decision. He had quite a few KOs, I think, so I could have easily have just stalled out and gone for the draw, but I decided to score a bit earlier and try and get the win. But I don't think I set up correctly on my defense to actually get that. So he deserved to win there, if I'm honest.
Did you go rule of 5 when you didn't need to go rule of 5?
No, but I did put. I wanted to try and put enough people forward that I could pressure him in the backfield if he chose to sit back there. So I put 5 people on the LOS, and I think I should have just had 3 people on the LOS and more people in the backfield because he ended up managing to get past me in school.
Oh yeah, that's a problem, especially with all those catchers. He can just push them all forward, and if he can lock down your disturbing presence, it's really easy to just pass and score.
Yeah, I was maybe underestimated a little bit, like the high movement of the catchers and having obviously the agility on 2 of them is pretty strong. So.
Yeah. Next match we had a draw between the Lizards and the Chofs. Impressive for the Lizards. Not a lot. Wait,
Not a lot of log 59.
I think we had this game in the last division. And no, you're not winning, but good effort. 60 blocks for 5 armor breaks. Impressive. We've seen worse.
Yeah, at least up his game a little bit though.
Yeah, like it's like 1 in 10 blocks. In 12 blocks armor break, we had like 1 in 16, which is right now the top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what do we have? 1 expulsion. Fouling. Fouling is good.
Howling is good, but not a lot of damage or SPP from this match with only 1 touchdown to both sides.
9 versus 10 SPPs. That means a lot of rolls with not the best results.
Yeah, good MVP for the Chof there to level him up. Next match we had Ken if the Blood Bowl server will work. Ken took a 3-0 victory on the Chaos from Fedic. I think Ken is playing a different game in armor breaks, and he's doing really well. Because 30 armor breaks in 37 blocks, now that's impressive.
Maybe yes, maybe not, because the armor breaks also count the fouls. So if he has been fouling Ken style, maybe half of these armor breaks are already coming
Well,
from.
we don't have any expulsion, so I have
Yeah,
doubts
he may
about.
have got some bribes. How is the TV of the teams? Who gets the
I
inducements?
believe Fumbling Beige Militia was definitely below because they didn't have a team ever during the season. They had like 2 Chaos Warriors for most of the season.
Funny.
But regardless, that's a lot of armor breaks. And a lot of SPP to go with
Oh,
it. 5
SPP farm.
injuries. That's a
Oh,
lot.
whoa, 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 whoa.
I don't want to see how the poor Fumbling Beige Militia is looking, but we're going to go over that a little bit later. Also, some kind of wizard defeated the King of Draws with a
Poor
1-0
Wendor.
victory. But someone died, and a lot of blocks from Wendor. And a
Well,
level
it's
up.
Nargle. You can expect them. Oh, what's this?
That's
Aha.
possibly 2 dirty players.
Rotter versus zombie.
Both level up.
Ugliest couple ever. Yeah, nice. So, there's
Yep, yeah, a nice win for some kind of wizard to take. Next match we had BDSL taking a. Oh, right, this is an
Well,
admin win. It's an
it's a
admin
bye
win
week.
I did. Kyakro had some real life troubles with scheduling and had to cancel on Svaho. So it was a bye week. You can see the result in the dice thingy of the bye weeks. I actually did process this, but it was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, so I forgot. After that, we had a very sad match where Bleeding Hippie bullied Major Bite,
No,
and
come on. 25 armor breaks.
like he had the same
2
amount of
Poor
blocks.
guy.
expulsions. This is a massacre. 5 injuries, 5 chaos, 2 expulsions. How?
Well,
We step back because Alf also killed 2 players.
yes,
That's cool.
I believe those were
If you're going down, go down swinging.
still sad times for Al, but week 7 was a lot better. And to finish off, the Underworld lost to the Pro Elves. Lava Jackal
Boo,
taking
bros,
a win,
boo. Abusing the poor underworld.
but quite a lot of armor breaks from the Underworld and some damage to go with it, and a level up on the throw from the MVP. So not a bad game in terms of SPP, I would say.
Whoa, 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 whoa. 10, 15, 17. Okay, it's not that much, but it's really split. 9, 13, 14. Not huge numbers, but really distributed.
Well,
That's nice.
both numbers are not bad. It's definitely above average on SPP gain. A lot of passes. So yeah, that was week 6. Quickly, once again, a match of pink, because for some reason he's always first on the thingy. Like, I'm not saying that like the game really wants us to cover Pink's matches first, but he's on the first match at every single week.
It always does it like that in
Yeah.
Blood Bowl 2. One team always ends up at the top every time.
It's pretty stupid. So yeah, you
I'm
played
just the special one this time.
rigged. You played the Lizardman and lost 2-0.
Yeah, this one I will say
It's
I think
always-
I was quite unlucky. I had 5 KO rolls that game, I think, maybe more, and I didn't get a single one of them. So I was just
Okay.
behind on players.
He fouled
Really a
you.
huge amount I could do.
He fouled you. That's oh, come on, the
Yeah,
SPPs.
that SPP is pretty sad. No, just a few
Didn't
KOs
get
from
any
you.
injuries. And yeah, I think he got
They're-
he KO'd two of my guys on his first drive, and I managed to get him to score early. But I couldn't get the return score. None of my guys came back that first time, and then at half time I had 3 people on KOs and then 3
Oh,
more
that
rolls, and none of them came back
sucks.
again. So I was just behind on guys and ended up losing.
That's an annoying matchup to lose because you kind of expect to beat the lizards because you're the natural predator of them. But before they start exploding, they can be very tough to deal with.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, when you don't get the removals, it's hard.
Yeah.
also I just saw it now, but Lava Jackal is saying that everyone bullied Major Bite, and like just because everyone does it doesn't mean it's okay.
No, absolutely
Major
not.
Bite life matters. Also, I know
Major
who
bite
didn't.
life matters at most.
He doesn't care about our lives because he create rebel logos to kill all our players, but we
Mm,
don't talk about that.
Do you think he's using his team as a
Test.
Guinea pig or test for the rebel logo to see if he's really that killy asset
Very
or not?
probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, a tough loss for you. How does that leave you on the leaderboard? Oh, you dropped quite a bit. But we'll look on that in a bit. Ken won 2-1 against JJ Cash, who I believe was the top of the leaderboard before that. With a lot of armor breaks again, but a lot of blocks to go with it at least.
Yeah. Oh, not so many blocks from the humans. Only 22. This is really
His
low.
games are always like that.
Yep.
He doesn't block very much at all. I've noticed.
I wouldn't.
He plays a bit like an elf.
Yeah, his team looks like an elf, and especially against Chorfs, like they just like remove 2-3 pieces early on, and you just can never take hits because of guard, and the fact that it's like 9 or 8 against 11, especially with stand firm, it's really tough to deal with them.
Hmm.
But definitely a good result for Ken and a tough one for JJ Cash because it might make him fear of a chance to not go to playoffs. After that, we had Big Easy TP with the Nutty Dreads taking down Orwendo, and that's a very confusing mind plus movement rotor I'm seeing. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Also, someone died. And a lot of blocks once again. After that, we had. Wait, is it a... I skipped one. We had BDSL, the Dark Elf, taking on the poor fumbling base militia who got the MVP on a loner, obviously, because they have like 6 of those.
Oh, come on.
And the elves won 1-0.
10 number breaks for each team. That really sucks when you have made almost double the amount of blocks. Well, not
Yeah,
almost, but
it's
yeah.
a lot. Well, the thing is, especially when it's elves versus chaos, like you might have made 20 more blocks, but it's like blodge against no block. So the knockdown
Yeah, no.
rate of the elves is really high on those blocks, and you're hitting blodge with no tackle. So your
And
knockdown rate is really low.
look at the ball possession. It shows like the elves just had the ball for a couple of turns enough to score, and then just dedicated themselves to kill the chaos team.
I'm bored of all this scoring stuff. It is going to hurt some people for once.
They did kill someone, and I really don't want to see who. But we're going to look at it later. After that, Bleeding Hippie took down some kind of wizard. And once again, the Chorfs are really good at breaking armor in this division. Like, really good levels. Also, some kind of wizard is not really good.
41 blocks, 0 KO, 0 injuries.
That's definitely somewhere on the leaderboard with 4 armor breaks in 40 blocks. This is a really good competition. We need to do this one more. Who is the worst at playing Blood Bowl in terms of injuries? Well, even with one Claw Mighty Blow blocker, those are still pretty incredible armor break results, because pushes
Yeah,
exist.
man. I
Like,
have 4 claw mighty blow players in my team, and I'm not getting these numbers.
yeah, like, the thing is, to remember is, like, even if your opponent never has block, which isn't really the case, you have a 25% chance to push, so it still means that, like, 2/3 of blocks are armor breaks, assuming that they never have block. So 75% of blocks are knockdowns, and that's still an incredibly high stat. And it's even higher when you consider that they sometimes do have block, and you sometimes don't hit with your Claw Mighty Blow, but you still get those armor breaks.
Fouling, maybe?
Yeah, definitely fouling helps, but with no, like, we haven't seen like 3 send-offs games, so unless they never get sent off, I don't think all of those armor breaks are fouls. But still, a nice win. Quite sad for some kind of wizard, but he's not the champion of being bad at blocks, which
No,
is
not yet.
also sad for him.
Mm.
Because if you lose, you need to lose so bad that people remember how bad you lost. Next
Just want to be
game,
remembered for something, don't you?
yeah, no one remembers the guys in the middle. Humanly Bear, after not playing the week before, did manage to take a win against the Pro Elves, a 2-1. It's nice to see that they are doing well after losing their natural one turner.
That- yeah.
And a lot of removals for both sides, actually. 7 injuries totals in a quite low block game. That's impressive. Sounds like a very nice bloody match between humans and elves. And to finish off, we had Major Bite scoring a point in a draw against the Underworld,
Oh,
which
boo.
made everyone happy.
It
That,
had to be this game. Come on.
like, I watched that game, and that game was bonkers. Like, it was so weird, and it's really good, and I believe Haringzod casted it, and you should watch it. Because, like, no one believed that Major Bite was going to get a point, but he did, and that was great. And everyone was happy.
So 43 blocks against Underworld for 2 chaos and 2 casualties.
Well, he doesn't really have Mighty Blow. We look at it at
Yeah,
his
he has
team.
block, and the Gobos are essentially niggled.
True, but he's also not good at rolling well, considering his record. Also, his team is really good at dying.
Yeah, they're the best at that, for sure. That's the power of the Rebel logo.
So let's go look at the teams themselves. But before that, let's quickly take an overview of the leaderboards. This division is also, like, it's possibly even closer than Division 3. Because, yes, Lava Jackal is cheating and played one more game than the rest, but you still have 6 players really close to each other. Like, Hippie is 1 point ahead of JJ Cash, and they are really safe at the top, but it's still like only 2 more points than EasyTP, and 3 more points from the rest of the pack. So, really close for this one. With 3 slots, pretty much anyone with 4 wins is really looking at the playoff spot. Even some kind of wizard might pull it off, but it's some kind of wizard, so I wouldn't gamble on that.
Potato! Yes, sorry, it came naturally. Yeah, actually, there is a lot of competition, although I think that Bleeding Hippie is playing an amazing season. This one and his team looks terrific.
Yes.
Basically, he has an amazing squad. So I would put my money on saying that out of the how many playoff spots
3
are
as
there?
well. Also, a thing to
3.
notice is that JJ Cash and Lava Jackal played one more match than the others.
Mm-hmm. True.
So,
I've seen the results while we were browsing where we're making the recap. But I would say that Hippie is making it to the playoffs, so he can
Yeah.
happily die in there before getting to Division 1 and bring the pain again. Especially to the Orcs with the Clomati blow.
Well, he's not safe yet just because of how close the division is. Because, like, number 8 is still very much a playoff contender.
Yeah. Definitely. Nobody is safe at this point, even if you have a 7-0 win. But
Yeah, you listen to that guy.
Nah. With 5
no,
playoff spots, I'm
that is
safe
true,
in
man.
playoffs. I'm safe in playoffs. I might not be first, but I'm safe in playoffs.
20,
Yeah.
21 points may not be enough, so you need another win minimum.
Yeah, and I have 6 games to do that.
Okay, we'll see.
Also, 21 points might be enough in a 5 qualifiers division.
If I remember correctly, last season was close to that. We had 4 spots, but I think that the competition was between the 22nd and 23rd
Well,
point.
also my argument is that last division the competition was a lot more closer, because there's a big gap between like you and below you, and you took 2 losses, Viking Cop.
Yeah, definitely. These things happen.
Yes. But yeah, talking of this division, it's really close, and it's really tough to decide here. I want to say Infinite Pink is going to win, but maybe not. Svao is up there, and I also want to support him because he's a great guy. But it's tough with the 3 Chorfs up there, and the Lizard Men, and the humans. And the Elven Union might be able to pull some miracle.
I think the one thing I do have going for me is that I've played a lot of the teams that are in the top already, whereas I think they still have to play each other a fair amount, which is in my favour. But
Well,
considering I started the season winning my first 4 games, I'm a little bit disappointed with where I am now.
didn't you already bully like Major Bite and played the Fedic and his Chaos?
I have played Major Bite, yeah.
Yeah, and like to be honest, because of how everyone is in the top, like unless your 5 last matchups are Wizard, Kiakro, Carlos Ibs, Fedic, and Wendor, you're also still having some matchups from the top.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like the top in inverted commas is like
Everyone.
from like 8th or 9th place up or something, isn't it? So
Like when everyone's on the top, that's not a very useful term to assess things.
Well, it makes it also more interesting, right?
Yes, it definitely does. And it's going to be a very close one. Like, if I actually end up doing the playoffs, path to the playoffs, which people should do if they have the time and don't forget about it.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
fun.
a very tough division to decide on, and even after you look at the schedule, I would still think this is a very tough division to decide on.
I I think that because of the calendar peculiarities, having sort said that all the entries for the path to playoffs had to be filled before, or the deadline was around Wednesday next week, so 1 week from now. Meaning that this is going to be a lottery for this
Yeah.
division with these figures.
Just pick 3 that you like, and maybe it will work. Probably you will be wrong on all of them. And Infinite Pink is resetting. So in the meantime, let's go and look at the teams, and hopefully he will be back to talk on his team. Starting with everyone's favorite, Alv from Major Bite.
Yay, Norseman, the happy Norseman with no.
I think Viking Hop also died from the lack of Dirty Player, which is fair.
I am sad now.
Yeah, but look at this Wolf. It's so nonsense. So what if his
I,
berserkers are completely rubbish and it's really bad for the team and he
yeah, but
doesn't have a bench? Look at this Wolf!
Scald is a star. It's 89 points. 18 SPPs with strength. It's basically a Yeti on steroids with no claw, with blotch and break tackle. It's kind of the player for everything. You want to hit, you can use him. You want to case dive, you can use him. You want to carry the ball, well, it's agility 2. You can use him. So, yeah. Although his runner, unpronounceable name of Real Bjorn, is
I,
also looking very nice. Does he has an eagle, maybe?
yes, it's actually not an eagle. It's a minus movement.
Ah, okay,
It's the
true.
John school of stat busts.
Yeah, is that oh, that sucks. This is the leaper. Yeah, well, I mean, the positionals look great, but for the berserkers who keep dying
Yeah, like
every other game,
it's so bad.
uh, and then the linemen, they show a worrying lack of dirty player.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough linemen, and the linemen he does have
He
need
doesn't
dirty
have
player.
enough linemen. He has 6, man. He has 6
Well, that's
linemen.
only one bench. That's not enough for AV7.
Yeah, well, but he's 16 TV. He's going to get inducements, bribes, more bribes,
He can induce dirty
mercs.
players.
No, I think that inducing dirty players, for example, is a really waste of TV
Why?
because okay, you want to induce a lineman dirty player. How much are you paying for him?
130.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
Yeah, but if you get like 500,000 in inducements, you get like one dirty player, a
But
wizard,
one,
two
you didn't want.
bribes, and a babe.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, like they are not. If you like have just enough for a wizard, especially with this team, you take the wizard. But if you have a buttload of inducements, dirty player is not a bad one because it's better than a chainsaw, I would say.
but it is much more expensive than getting dirty player in one of your own players.
That's true.
I mean, it's so expensive that for the same price, you can get basically an extra lineman for fodder, or almost 2 babes or 1 bribe. He has some cash. I don't think he's going to spend it, just in case he keeps losing berserkers. But well, team doesn't look really bad. The
Well,
problem is that he's consistently facing kill teams or elf kill teams. I don't know.
well, the thing with Norse is that like your berserkers are really important to actually be able to fight stuff, and having dirty player is really important to be able to fight stuff. And having neither leaves you with a really awkward like elves that are not really good as elves because you just don't have as many elves as an elf team.
Well, on the other hand, the TV value is mid to low for this division, for Division 2, so he's playing with inducements
Yeah.
every game. And also with the gamble of armor 7.
Yes. Now let's move on to Humanly Bear from Kyako. Still missing their dead natural one turner. But the team is looking still it's looking fine. I don't see any major differences, but it's not a bad team.
No, the thrower is decent. The developed catcher is 1 SPP from leveling. That's nice because he can get maybe sprint. Bleachers. There is a rookie bleacher.
Yes.
Got one, and then 2 killers.
Well, the killers also have guard, which is good, and he also have
Yeah,
this lineman, which is like a blitzer.
Blood's guard lineman is very good, and then the ogre is very nice too.
No dirty player is
Yeah,
disappointing,
that is a handicap for this team. Yes.
and
Boo.
m- losing that natural one turner catcher still hurts, I would assume.
Yeah,
But the team is
yeah.
not bad overall.
No, 1810, looking nice, but when I compare it to the Cash Crew, for example, in Division 3, I see a gap.
Yeah.
I see a jump in development and performance.
Yeah. If he still had his natural one-turner, like the comparison looks a lot more fair, but like losing your stat freak makes him
Yeah,
look a lot weaker compared to teams with stat freaks, and humans really need a stat freak to really shine, because overall they are weaker than elf teams or the bash teams in terms of average performance.
yeah.
Now, onwards we go to Lens of Potato, of Ice and Dire from Subcard of Wizard, and
Whoa,
every...
whoa! What happened to this squad for Miss Next Games?
Well, I believe this is just the Agibust, and
Okay, who cares?
I
In a flesh
hope
golem.
that the whites are okay. These whites okay. I believe there used to be another ghoul with plus movement. He's probably dead. This ghoul is also okay. And there are two dirty players, which is nice because we are missing them right now in Division 2, even though one of them is missing. The next game.
Okay, he still has the other. And team value 11.4. Come on,
So low.
1140.
Like, he's pretty much missing all of his positionals that are like half of his good positionals. Like the wolf, he's still missing his mighty blow wolf that died. Fresh flesh golem. Like he just has this white and the werewolf as positionals for next game. It's going to be very awkward. And
Is going to
also,
be very painful.
yeah, I believe there are also going to be 3 loners, which is a lot of loners. We might see him buy a ghoul just to have a positional for next game, because it's better than another loner.
Wow, it really sucks. Uh,
That's going to be really rough, isn't it?
hey, region worked.
Again,
4+.
can we not put him on the LOS?
No, you can't do that. Wow, I don't know. What are you going to induce with
Who's he
with
playing?
so much?
I'm not looking at future matches because I don't want it to go too long, but he's going to play the Humanly Bear, so he's going to have easily like
500,000?
600k.
Okay, that probably means that Wilhelm is coming. Wilhelm plus a wizard plus bribes like the end of the day, and fingers crossed.
Yep.
Fingers really crossed for the region to work.
We might even see him go for something fancy like Count Luthor, just because he have enough money. And like Count
Count Luthor is
Luthor,
nice,
yeah, like Hypnogaze into Cage
but
Die
Count
from
Luthor
Strength
is
4.
so expensive.
Yeah, but he's a Strength 5 vampire with no bloodlust. And he
Um,
has some sick shades.
no, that's cool. The sides are really nice.
Yeah.
So yes, half of the team of some Kinda Wizard is going to play against the humans.
Not
We
going to be
wish
easy.
both of them luck for that game. It sounds like a fun one.
Loner zombies against
Loners
humans.
everywhere, loners everywhere, fouling every time.
Yes. Now, Infant Pink revived about just in time to tell us if anything new happened to his team.
No, I don't think I've had any level ups in the last couple of weeks.
Uh,
If you want an update on my big hand, Pestigore, I don't think it's been useful once.
well,
Yeah, that big hand really puzzles me.
well,
Well, I was gonna get extra arms or extra arm, and then during one of these recaps, a few people in chat were suggesting big
It
hand.
was
and I
just
thought,
bleeding
screw
hippie.
it, I'll give it a go, and I kind of regret it.
it was just bleeding hippie.
They were just trolling you or something.
No, I don't think it's a bad call, but it's like the it's a call of like, do you prefer to have like something slightly useful every game, or something like that's really key but matters like 1 in 10 games.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, if by the end of the season it's had, say, 2 moments where it's like allowed me to do something that I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise, I'd be okay with it. But so far, it hasn't done any.
Also,
because
2 dirty
yeah,
players.
that is good. That's bueno. Good job. Good
Yeah,
job.
making you happy, Viking Cup.
Yes. You still have room for 1, 2, 3, 4 more, huh? Remember.
I'm seeing
Oh, yeah.
room for 14 more.
Actually 12, because you cannot have the same skill twice.
I
But
could have 2
yes.
more otters.
Look at the bank. He has the money to get the otters.
Okay, wasn't counting on that. That's cool. Can you hire also star players such as, for example, Lord Borak,
He
who is
also has dirty
block mighty
players.
block dirty player?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Um,
So yeah, your team looks really amazing, really amazing. You're really strong. 5 is strength 4, 1 strength 5. I guess that 4 guard. Yes. Funny ball carrier. Couple claw mighty blow. Yeah. Very good. Oh, the pestigore with plus strength is the one with claw mighty blow. That's so awesome.
yeah, that has been really handy. It's really good for like taking down big guys
Maybe
and stuff.
a bit lack of tackle.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, I mean that strength was going to be tackle, but then obviously I rolled strength. I don't know where else I'm going to get it, to be honest. Some of the warriors will get it when they eventually level up, but it could be a while.
That's where you kind of want another Pestigore, just so you could actually get a guy with tackle soon.
Yeah, when Papa Owl II gets at least 1 more skill, I think I'll get another pest. But
That can take a
don't want
full
too many
season.
players on my team that don't add that much. I'm already such a high team value. I don't want to add that. I don't want to increase that even more with players that aren't going to add a huge amount to the team.
Fair enough. But yeah, your team looks strong. And as we've seen from the leaderboards, you are in the contestant for the playoff spot. Do you think you can make it? Do you believe in
100%.
yourself?
I'm going to be quite disappointed if I don't get into playoffs, if I'm honest.
Good
That doesn't
answer.
mean I should get there, but I really want it, and I think I've got the potential to do it. So if I don't
Yeah,
manage it,
we definitely need more Nargle in the playoffs. More Nargle and Chars.
We don't
So
have
everybody around dies.
the things we really lack in the playoffs are bash teams, and claw teams.
Yes.
We need more of those. Following up with probably the best contrast to your team is a Chaos team that is really not doing so well. But they finally have all the Chaos Warriors. And not too many people died.
Are those juniors? Every time they die, he adds a junior on there.
I believe so. Because we have
Because
seen...
that's really unlucky.
I'm pretty sure we started the season seeing Big Mickey 1 Junior, 2 Junior, and now there is 3 Junior.
Yeah, that's really harsh. I feel sorry for this guy.
Yeah, his team being exploding left and right, but the record is not too bad for the season, considering how exploding the team was. And the development is not bad. He has quite a lot of nice pieces. And once he can actually fill the gaps of those 2 Chaos Warriors with good Chaos Warriors, it might look scary.
He needs money. Lots of money. And he needs... Yeah. That's so... This sucks. I mean, this team is going to have really a rough season.
I don't know. I don't know if it's as bad as you're making out. Like he's only.
No. I'm not saying bad per se, but really, with a few more players, just block in these 2 Rocket Chaos Warriors, he could really compete. But with this point, he's just playing for a lucky game or even survival.
Yeah, I mean those two Chaos Warriors do need at least one skill, really. But other than that, it's that thing. He's still got 4 Mighty Blow. 2 of them have Claw. Like with with a few good hits, like he could still do a lot of damage and take games. I think.
Yeah, but
Yeah, Lava Jackal saying that maybe he's not playing Chorfs anymore for the rest of the season, so the dark days are over.
Yeah.
well, we'll reach to your team soon. But yeah, the chaos, like the team, the part of the team that is actually a part of the team is not bad, but like not having bench at the foreseeable future and 2 rookie chaos warriors, like those are weak spots that lose you game on their own. Because like against the bash team, you lose like one guy early on and you never recover because you don't even have enough guard. Because you're chaos, you never have enough guard.
I thought the approach was you never have enough Claw Mighty Blow, but okay, we'll take that.
Well, against the bash team, like you usually are going to be outguarded unless something really weird is happening.
You guys are going all robot for me again. Don't know what's happened to my internet tonight.
Oh,
Sorry,
come on.
guys.
Beep boop.
We are getting the robot. Okay, so I think it's almost 11 p.m. where I live. Okay, we can speed this up because it's been
Yeah, we've been
2
very
hours and a
slow.
half.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Quickly.
Or you can finish this yourself. But
2
in
dirty
half an hour
players.
more. No, yes, 2 dirty players. Cool. No, that's unfair. That's unfair. Let's
No
let's
dirty
check
players.
this. That's
We
unfair.
skip that team. It doesn't matter.
No. We need a couple minutes. So the Natty Dreads.
The new way we do the recap is just literally count how many dirty players each team
the
has.
one 1 minute recap.
Team with the most dirty players will
Okay.
win.
So the Natty Dreads are sitting comfortably at 1670 with a lot of guard. That's nice. They even have a guard in the Bull Centaur who is a ball carrier and has Mighty Blow and plus agility, which is insane. The other looks more normal. Say they have a killer with Claw Mighty Blow, 2 dirty players, cool. 12 players for the next game because one of the hobos is missing it. Nice.
Would you guys have gone? I know he's got plus agility on that centaur, but would you still have gone break tackle instead of maybe either mighty blow or guard?
I think break tackle is better than mighty blow, but I would prefer probably just tackle over mighty blow.
Mm,
And guard is always good. You always need more guard. Guard is
Yeah.
life.
I just think because it's a ball carrier, even obviously the agility is really good for that, helping you pick up ball, etc.
well,
But the dodging,
he's a ball carrier in offense, but he can work also in defense as a guarder.
Well,
Yeah.
like, it's the same logic as taking 2 heads on a ball carrier. So I really quite like, actually, like, break tackle on an Adject 3 Bull Centaur. Because you will take 2 heads on a Beastman. And most of the time, it's the same, because you don't do 2 dodges. Ever, really. With your ball carrier, unless something went really wrong.
yeah. No, I don't dislike the mighty bow guard. I was just wondering if you guys might have picked up break tackle.
Yeah. Break tackle is not bad. I think mighty blow is a lot more unfitting than break tackle would be. But yeah, this is a strong Chorf team with a lot of mighty blow and a lot of guard. And some dirty players, so they would have liked to see more clock, but there isn't really anything they are missing outside of maybe more claw.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we'll move to the team with the 0 dirty players, which is very disappointing. It's also humans at 2K TV with all the elfiness in the world and like 1 strength guy.
That's new, I think.
Yes, I don't remember him.
This is also a fast human team.
Ah,
Mm,
Quite fast, quite agile. I believe the thrower is missing. Like he
mm,
might have died recently because I don't see a thrower. And
yeah, he died a few games ago, I think. We mentioned that he needed a replacement for that ball carrier. Maybe I'm not correct. Um,
I don't think he had one when I played him, which was 2 or 3 games ago.
2 games ago, I believe. No, 3 games ago. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't like need the thrower with old Agifor, but sure hands is
yeah.
quite nice.
Well, he
Regard
has two catchers with a G4, blood step.
tackle.
Mm. Yeah, tackle is not useful for
Well,
a ball carrier in principle, but yeah. Um,
I
yeah, a
think
lot
it's
of
quite nice seeing a human team played a bit differently. Like, I'd argue that generally, so a lot of the time people say that humans are this kind of half bash, half running kind of team, and I'd argue that really they're just a bash team. But with this team, with the agility that he's got, he really does play it like an agility team, and it's obviously working out for him. He's got quite good results from it. It's quite nice to see humans played a little differently.
yeah. I on the other hand agree with Ken on the point that humans with no dirty player is like chaos without claw. I don't know, or elves without dodge. It's just hardy eyes.
I think I found quite often with humans is that like bash coach usually look at them as like suboptimal bash, and elf coach look at them as like suboptimal elves, which is why I kinda tend to agree that they are some sort of somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
But I think in the end of the day they are leaning more towards bash, just by a little bit, but they don't do bash as well as a proper bash team because they just don't have the tools. They don't have an easy guard spam like dwarves, and don't have easy access to strong players like orcs.
Yeah, I didn't say they were like the best at it. I just think that is what they're there for, really. But as soon as you get a few, I mean, I think everyone knows that with humans, really, to be competitive, you do need some kind of good level ups,
Yeah,
stats and stuff. So
like that
yeah.
Agi5 guy. I'm not specifying because we have 3 of them, but you know, one of them.
IG5, 24 or 5, yes, movement 9, this kind of shit. Yeah, these things make the humans work the wonders because they need this. Otherwise, they're just average and
Also, a lot of diving tackle on this team, which is a fake
yeah.
skill, which is really weird. Why would you take 80k, or actually 90k of useless skill?
Mm,
I actually really like diving tackle,
Oh, I
but
like diving tackle as
I
well. I'm
probably
just
wouldn't have taken it 4 times. I would agree with that.
well, all of his diving tackle players do have like blodge and either sidestep or stand firm, so it's quite strong. It's definitely annoying for elves. Like the bash teams care a lot less about diving tackle usually, because they just punch you instead.
Yeah, I would actually point out the diving tackle blitzer ruined my game against him. So I think I rolled in one turn. I rolled 10 dice against that blitzer and didn't manage to get the POW, and it meant that I couldn't score.
Yeah,
So,
oh,
that's the glory of stand firm. You just ignore everything and stay there and just win a game on your own.
yeah.
So yeah, that's the cash crew, which are pretty high on the table as well. Next we have the mighty reptiles of Cretan, and they look quite the same, but still pretty good. The Bloxigor leveled up, probably going to be stand firms on normal, and doubles is a little bit tougher. One of the either pro, dodge, or tackle, depending on preference. Maybe
The
diving
friend
tackle if you're crazy.
or frenzy.
Why would you take frenzy or the Croxy goal?
Why not?
I expected you to say or dirty player, but okay.
No, you reserve dirty player for the Saurus.
Ah.
However you say
Who
that.
takes pass block then?
Skinks because they need a double. We need normals.
I know they still need doubles. Source can take
Hmm.
that on normals.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a solid Lizardman team. They have 3 guard, 3 mighty blow if you count the Crocs, block all around. Skinks are kinda bloaty, but not too much maybe.
Luis Mendoza is agility 5, agility 4, sorry. Side step, diving tackle also. And then we have a blood step, sprint, sure fit for the one turns. Yeah, no, not many changes in this team. The healer maybe got tackle.
Yeah, and the
I
Crocs
think he's
is
done a
pending.
really good job at getting his Saurus leveled up without having too much mobility thing.
And the Dodge Saurus got block
I
eventually.
think
Yeah.
we've seen that. Also,
We have.
yeah.
Okay, I have a bad memory. I also missed the last
Yeah, like
two
I'm the
mismatch.
only guy who's actually doing this
Yeah.
consistently.
You are the engine pulling from us to do this. Okay, so next team.
Like, see, you don't like the lizards? They don't have dirty player.
No.
Maybe Ken will have some dirty player for you. Yes, he
Oh, Ken has
does.
to dirty play. I like this. I like.
It's really weird. Like in this division, you either have no dirty player or 2 dirty player. There's no middle ground.
So we have here Bloods, break, tackle, tackle. So kind of sucker, bull centaur, and then we have a plus movement, break, tackle, frenzy, a surfer. That's nice. With an eagle, it seems. Few roadblocks. 2 killers. One of them is a real killer. And then a hobo ball carrier is this? Yes.
Yes.
With an eagle himself too. So really vulnerable to things like rocks or bolts. Um, and then some guard.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
Like team is pretty good overall. Also, he has like a claw guy without an AV bust, which is cheating. But yeah, like his team is very solid overall. Maybe you want a little bit more guard. Maybe you would like to have a non-eagled ball carrier, but not really anything mandatory that he's missing right now. It's all a little bit of the quality of life skills, because he does have enough guard to win bash matchups and enough claw and good bull centaurs.
Yeah, yeah. Some more guard would be nice in this team. Especially having 2 killers. One of them has guard. That's cool. But 2 blockers are semi-rookies.
Yeah.
It kind of strikes me a little bit that Belt Sandersberga has Mighty Blow instead of guard. I mean, with the amount of Mighty Blow that Ken has sprinkled through the team, not to mention 2 Claw Mighty Blow players, I think that one guard would have been more useful in there.
Yeah, you could
Ah,
not.
okay, I see. The blockers keep dying,
Yes,
yeah, regularly.
they.
That's that explains it. Okay.
But yeah, strong team. Once again, Ken is a contender for playoffs like all the Chov teams. So he definitely
All
has the
the
team
chores,
to maybe take it.
all the chores for the playoffs. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it sounds kind of fun, but we really need strong teams this season in playoffs from Gman because we have been performing ridiculously
I blame
poorly.
Viking Cop.
You don't blame me, blame yourself. I reached the round of 8 and I got a hype video. So that's
I
more than
finished
what
like fourth last in a division with a bye week.
I And yeah, so I'm scared not, but I would say I am happy to see that there are going to be strong teams in the players from Gman this season because we
Yes.
need to win this trophy after so many seasons just losing
Actually, you
ridiculously
know who I
to
blame for last season? I blame Gaudi. Because
you
Gaudi
do?
underperformed.
Hmm. I missed his last game. I watched the one versus Andy Davo. He was that was really mental.
Yeah. Well, continuing with this division because we actually want to finish this recap tonight. Wendell's chance, the team who draws a lot and don't like tackle for some
Oh,
reason.
Ken, don't be so happy when you face Papa Nasty, because I faced him with my Claw Mighty Blow team and did him nothing,
Well, Papa
and
Nasty is a lacquer.
yeah, and he just killed my team in like 3 turns. So it was like, well, what happens now?
Yeah. So, Viking Up, what do you think about this team? They don't have tackle or dirty players.
Sorry, I was checking the other window. Allrounders, yeah, but this is Allrounder, and so this is kind of exotic build. First of all, the names are so cool. Second, I hate that they are not in order.
Yes,
Um,
you are
oh,
not the only one.
come
I,
on, Allrounder,
I really
please.
hate this Pestigo specifically because, like, at least all the other positionals are at the start, but this guy is just in the middle for no reason at all.
So the Beast is rookie, the Chaos, the Nagel Warriors are killing,
Well,
guarding bloods. Then he has a killer Pestigo with plus agility, why not? And minus armor because of shenanigans. The carrier looks very nice. The
yes, it
carrier is actually a very
does.
good player. He lacks totally two key skills in this team. One being, of course, tackle, but the most important,
The other player.
dirty player.
And pass block, but
Yeah.
everyone lacks pass block. Let's be real.
Uh,
Everyone can use some pass block.
so he has a super high TV 2050, even counting the extra 30k for the spare cash, and he has zero tackle. This is kind of weird. Why? Why is this? And the beast is a rookie. Why is this happening? Where is this
The
all
beast
this
died
blood coming from? Where
recently.
is the where is the blood coming from? The blood is coming from the doubles.
Yeah. Also, having all the positionals is quite expensive for Nurgle with 4 rerolls as
Yeah,
well.
and giving your killer plus agility and giving a rotor plus movement.
Also,
Yeah.
there's 2 doubles as well in the form of the
Yeah, but for
torch.
the gold carrier, it's quite okay, and for a warrior, if you give him next stand firm and just become super old block with no guard, it's a shame, but okay.
Yeah, also 4 rerolls is quite bloaty with rerolls being expensive. It's not bad,
Yeah,
but it's expensive, which is
yeah, and this is clearly a good example of what we can call, strictly speaking, a suboptimal build, but still, it's a fun one, so it's perfectly
yes.
valid. How is he performing this season?
This season,
Besides drawing every other game
uh, this
because he's our
season,
winner?
he's not. He didn't get a win yet.
Oh, come on,
He's not doing too well,
that's
but
harsh.
he did kill some people, which is
Yeah.
nice. Killing people is good. Kill more. Yeah, Wendor can do better, but he's here for the laughs, and I believe he is getting them, which is the important part.
Mm.
Now, next team we have the BDSL of Svaho, which are also doing quite well overall, and the team is looking pretty good. They didn't get much damage on them,
Oh,
and
this is
they still have all the blodge in the world. Good witches, good blitzers, a killer in those blitzers. This is a very scary Dark Elf team and possibly one to look out for to make that playoff spot.
yeah, sitting at 2020 with a complete squad with two bench. Blots everywhere. The treasury full with 150k in case he needs to replace players. Which else? One is nickel. That's
Ooh,
that's dangerous for witch elf. But okay, um, the blitzers look very good. Two mighty blow in there, one piling on even. One is fast with plus movement. That's really nice, like the witch elf. And the runner is also built in a really conservative way, but I like that. Blots
yep.
in a bulk carrier is very nice. Blots pass. Next skill is probably accurate or sure hands, nice, and then blots. Yeah, very nice,
Yep.
very nice.
Very strong team. Definitely one to watch for, I think. And after that, we have who Viking Cop thinks is going to be the the top finisher of this division, which is Bleeding Hippie, and he has probably out of the Chove's team, I would argue the scariest, with maybe not as much guard as the others, but a lot of piling on and mighty blow together, and good wolves, and two quite useful hobgoblins that are quite agile.
Yeah, the hobgoblins in this team are really good. One is Blood's Guard, which is basically awesome for a hobgoblin. The other is Block plus Agility, that opens possibilities for passing plays or ball carrying with the hobo if needed. The other is Dirty Player, so that's very
Yes.
good also. A rookie blocker, and the others are guard, kill. Bloods, break tackle, and then is Bloods, break tackle, frenzy. Looks nice. Looks efficient
Yep.
to me.
It's quite cheap, only on 1800 TV really. He is missing his dirty player, so like 1900 when he has the full team. But it's really strong and it's not giving out too much inducement. It might even get inducements on most teams, which means bribes and wizards, which are quite scary against a team so strong. I agree why. Like, I understand why Bleeding Hippie is doing so well. He's a good coach with a good team, and I would definitely be surprised if he doesn't make it to playoffs.
Yeah, this squad looks strong, but not terribly strong. But for me, to me, looks efficient.
Yes.
1810, it's not high TV. He can even play with inducements. He has treasury if he needs to buy more hobos to fill gaps. Yeah, I think we have also lost Pink in the way again.
Now, like,
Um,
he's here 60% of the time, every time.
no, I think he has connection issues or something. See if he can join us in Twitch.
Yes. Well,
Meanwhile, nostalgic memories
yes,
from
coached
Lava
by Lava
Jackal, another
Jackal.
classic of the league. Oh, come on, this team.
Why does all the elves get all the stats? Oh,
This team
like,
is very good with zero perms.
I believe this strength
Ah,
is new.
I love this team. I really love this.
N- Like, the plus strength here is definitely new, and it's really
Who
stupidly
who
good.
cares? Who cares about the plus strength? He has a dirty player.
Ah, of course, the only thing that matters.
Yes, evil genius. Even the name is fitting. Ah, so nice. No, this team looks really nice.
Yep, scary team, lots of good stat ups.
Some bench. Yeah, very nice. The thrower is very good. The thrower is no, sorry, no, Longbong Silver
Mango Silver,
in the
yes.
way with movement 6. Yeah, 10k cheaper. I would pay
20.
20
The wooden
because.
thrower is 90k, and
Oh, really?
yes,
Okay, Well,
and now you know.
yes, I do. Spider-Man too. Like the names are really
Yeah,
nice
the
also.
names are very nice, and the team is very nice. And once again, a team that might be able to pull itself to playoffs. I definitely would be surprised if both Elf teams, both this team and Svarho's team, don't manage to qualify. C- like, because they're both really strong, and at least one Elf team should qualify, I think. Although we might have like Chorf, 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 and like we'll say, oh, fun, Chorfs, hooray.
Yeah, but yes, but no. We need to put some Magi teams in the playoff spots too.
Yeah,
And I think that this one, as of now, they look really healthy and capable of it. How are they in the table?
I can check that for you. They are fifth with 4-1-3
Yes, yeah,
because they cheated a
they're in
game.
the fight. They're in the fight. That's good. That's bueno. So now, okay, we have the underworld. Warpstone Sneaky Servants from Carlos IB set.
That's an agility line rat, which is definitely new.
This is funky, but it's also nice because you never know when you're going to need another agility 4 player in this crazy team.
Well,
So they have two very, very good killers and then a killer troll.
and the rest is mediocre at best.
Yeah, but they're underworld, so that's to be expected.
Yeah. Like, your good pieces are good, your bad pieces
Mm,
are bad. What a
yeah,
surprise.
you have fillers, you have 1400 TV, so you can get some taste inducements. That's
Yeah,
very nice.
yeah. Induce gut runners, so you'll actually have good players. That's a strategy. It's a nice looking underworld team, but not much different from before. The killer with Clopomb and Horns is very close to leveling up for attacker, which is going to be nice. And the team overall is quite well in terms of surviving after the early slaughter. And that is Division 2, I believe. And once again,
Yeah, and
really
it's
close
only
in the
taken
top.
us like 3 hours
Yeah, that's
to
because
go.
we actually want to go over the teams because we missed them for like 2 weeks.
Um, yeah, that's true. But I'm going to faint tomorrow at work.
Do you
Okay,
want to do like we don't care about
now,
Division 1 because we play in
now
it, and like I'm
we.
the absolute king anyway. So just like say the dirty player can. Oh, before we do that, actually, we need to say how many dirty players there were in Division 2. How much do you
Okay,
think?
okay. How many? How many of the let me count. There was a 13, hard. 11.
10, but really close.
Aye, very close. I was about to say 10, but said no, be a bit generous. Say 11.
So maybe more than Division 3, depending on if Bainesy is going to go crazy and take all the dirty players. Because if he does,
All the hopes are
Divi-
on Benzi now.
yes, don't take all the dirty players. It's bad.
No, do it. It's fun.
But yeah, let's look at Division 1 now. After finishing with that, we'll try to do this fast. Maybe, probably not. We'll probably take even longer because we're trying to do it fast. Let's start with the admin result of a draw between Gaudi and Bane of the Living, which is
It was an
coached.
admin result?
Yes, they didn't manage to schedule. Like
Ah,
It
yeah.
was on the Easter weekend, and Gaudi was
Mm-hmm.
only available to play like first few days of the week, which was
Mm-hmm.
Easter. And General Marauder said, "Well, I'm on vacation on Easter. I cannot play. I can like do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday pretty much openly." And Gaudi wasn't available on those days,
Okay.
so it ended
Okay.
with a draw.
Okay. Sad. And this also ruined the perfect strike that Gaudi was having. But well, real life happens.
After that, Philbo took his first win of the season against none other but T, and also playing the who does the most armor breaks game with 20
Mm,
breaks in 30 blocks, but there were some expulsions. So I expect lots of fouling because it's Philbo.
yes.
Maybe half of those breaks are fouls. No one will be
That
surprised.
that's so nice.
Yes. Also, Metal won against the bye week. The only match he manages to win consistently.
Yes, he's reliably winning the bye week.
You say that, but we had a season where we weren't sure if he was going to beat the bye week. It was season 4. It was like week 11, and he was equal with the bye week. Mostly because he really hated his team.
Uh, so you're pointing now to a memorable game that they played against Manu Satra.
Yeah, your team died.
No, well, the team didn't die, but it was battered to dust by a squad of mental bloodthirsty orcs who insisted on rolling fives and sixes like hell. It was. I mean, I could not control that. The first turns were so harsh to my team that I entered survival mode. It was an absolute mess because everything went wrong from the beginning for me. Um, I lost the toss. That is really something really bad in high TV bash versus bash matchups. So I got to suffer some losses from the beginning. I think that Manus removed not many players in the first round, maybe one, maybe two, not many. Don't recall it exactly. But then starting from this, every turn from him was a blitz because I was not giving him more hits than the blitz, at least for as long as I could. A blitz, one of my players going down and getting injured, one after another. So I ended the first half with only 4 players on the pitch,
Ouch.
and he is scoring easily. Then I said, okay, well, at least I have 2 rounds of blocks, one in the turn 8 and one in the turn 9, to try to remove more of his plays because, I mean, I was getting killed, but I was putting some bruises on his team also. And I was able to injure or, yeah, kind of remove from play like 3 or 4 players. That was giving me some hopes. So I set up the line of scrimmage blocks, and the kickoff event was a perfect defense. So it really sucked. Uh, he minimized the blocks in these hits, although I managed to remove another blitzer. Then I made a balance of the first half and I said, okay, I've been battered. I have like 8 players injured at that point, 7, 8, something. I mean, very high numbers. I started playing the second half with, I think, maximum 7 players. Apo did not work, and the only foul I had set up was against Niggled Black Orc with 4 assists, and it was a snake eyes. It was like, okay, nothing is working. I said, but okay, I have my drive. I can maybe tie this thing and then, okay, put some pressure on him. I was doubting that I could win the game. So we went for turn 9, line of scrimmage set up, um, block maximization positioning, and then he rolled the blitz. And
Ouch.
it was over.
Yeah.
Because he basically blitzed. The kick was short, so he was able to put one of his bleachers under the ball and grab it when it fall, if I remember correctly. And then he just played the bash game against me. He killed the team.
Oh,
I finished the game 3-0 with only 1 player standing on the pitch.
fun.
Oh, well, yes. Not the fun you spend. I mean, I had some laughs at the end. The game was very harsh to my team because I had 3 Chaos Warriors missing next game. 2 of them with niggles. With okay, it's not a catastrophe, but really sucks. And next game I had to play Metal and his super killy, scary Nargle team. So yeah, the proposition was not the best, and more considering that this was one of the games that I was most looking forward to because Metal and I have a really good relationship and always make some good laughs when we play, and yeah, and it was a high TV bash claw matchup that could kill both of our teams. I mean, it was really exciting, and in this way I just went there with a team with 14 100 TV, something like that. And it was like, okay, I'm bringing you some goats, a lot of loners, and one Chaos Warrior.
Yeah.
Hello. So
Hmm? We'll talk about that match in a bit, but before that, Sage 1-1 against the High Sails. It was quite a tough matchup for Venachar. He did get minus Agi on Juan Ganjan, which I believe made him retire
yeah,
Juan Ganjan, and overall just didn't do very well. He had a very strong start, and then Sage started to remove
it was
everything.
really stupid because the high cells had a very good first half in which Sage was not able to remove absolutely anything but a
Second
catcher
half.
with a random unassisted foul, maybe what was it? Who was straight dead, so fouled into dead. It was like, and then in the second half, um, during Sage drive, so it's 1-0 for the high sales. The the Wood Elves roll a blitz and they get the ball. So they get Juan Gunjon under the ball, and he of course picks the ball because he has catch and he has agility 6 and he's a mental player. And then Sage manages to open the cage he had formed and bleaches him with a Chaos Warrior with tackle, brings him down, and gives him minus agility. Apo is used into death, or the other way around. I don't remember. That meaning that Juan Gunjon is now agility 5 again, so he has an agility and movement bust.
Yeah,
What
which did retire him, I believe.
I think so. That's sad. That's sad because he was a classic of the league, but he was a mutant and deserved to die.
Yes. After that, Black Pyramid proved to be the better Dark Elf team by winning 2-1 against Dreamify. Not too
Yeah,
surprising considering how stupid Rift's team is and how battered the Dreamify teams is. And after that,
well,
oh, if you before
no, no, no. The game was quite good and was very balanced. But I was watching it, and at the end of the game, there was a second play working for Black Pyramid, and the recovery movements from Dreamify were maybe not the best because he didn't move enough players backwards into his field to support the. He was possibly trying to leave some, but at the end of the day, the numbers were not his. Also, there was a game with a lot of fouling and with a consistent lack of blitzes by the Corsairs, so kind of exotic. But yes, eventually they lost.
yes. After that, I like last week I had a very weird match when I won 3-0
Ooh,
against other orcs and I didn't even like remove anything. I just had so much guard that they weren't able to move, and I just sucked the ball twice in the same half, and it was really weird. But it happened. I was really close to scoring on a Black Orc, but then he put his troll on my Black Orc, and I pretty much had to give up on that dream and pick up with someone else. But yeah, it was quite an odd match. I went into it quite confident because I did outguard him by quite a lot, and it showed. Also, his goblin was really bad at life, and like he induced an apple, so like goblin like sometimes early in the second half like tries a dodge from tackle, fails it, injures himself, gets upward, just like then I score for the 2-0. Gobo come back, he throws him, falls on his face, gets injured, and like, oh, well, that was fun. And then I score again. I believe I did get one blitz that match as well that helped me to go for the actual 3-0.
yeah, because 3-0 in an orc versus orc game is quite unusual.
It's really unusual considering I didn't remove his guys. I had one KO. He did cash himself on with the Gobo twice, and you can see it on the casualties sustained because he failed dodges and stuff. But I didn't remove his players. I just like stood there better than he stood in my way, which was unique. So that was week 6. Week 7 we had, to begin with, a draw between High Sales and the Undead, which is quite a result for the Undead.
We have another loner MVP with an injury for the high sales.
The-
Come
the-
on, Venachar, what are you doing? What's happening to you again?
all better MVPs.
Yeah,
But yeah, n- not ideal for Venechar, who is trying to recover after losing Juan Ganjan. After that, Dreamify getting bullied completely by the Wat Tigers, and when we
wow,
look,
yeah, yeah. If I got a real battery or battering by Manu Satra, um, Rima if I got killed. I
yeah,
think he lost like 2, 3 players that
yeah, it
game.
was really tough. He lost important players with skills, which
Yes.
maybe, just maybe, might force him into rerolling. But we will look into that a bit more later down the line. I, unbelievably, was able to beat the bye week, and
Oh yes,
I also got an MVP on a Blackhawk, which leveled him up, which was really nice.
the bye week didn't stand chance.
Yeah, easy matchup. I have the best, a really good matchup against the bye week. It's pretty much a guaranteed win. After that, in the biggest bum fight ever, the Uruk Haikus were able to take a 2-0 victory over Filbo, fighting Fist. Finally, some recovery for the Uruk Haikus after a few bad games, but they were able to take Filbo, which is nice. After that, we have a big outlier in terms of result.
That's incredible.
Like, this game
This,
says pretty much everything you need to know about the game. Like, it was 5-1 for the Rats. They lost their ball sacker, but they also broke a lot of elves.
yeah, no real dead, but 19 armor breaks out of how many blocks?
38,
38.
which
Wow, that's
is
amazing.
very little.
And then the out of 29, the Dark Elves made 6 injuries. What happened here? This is Claw Mighty Blow piling on doing
Just
stuff.
six
That's no other
casualties.
reasoning. That's no other possible explanation.
Just good results on those injuries, which led for a very huge gap in terms of
Yeah.
touchdowns. But losing this ball sucker is going to hurt for Gaudi.
Well, this is the standard behavior of rat teams in Gman 1. They start really strong, they
They
perform
don't have a
well,
team.
but they end the season without a team.
Yes.
I mean, it's like yeah, a race to win before you die.
Yes. And after that, T got bullied by Sage, which no one expected except everyone. And this is the first Cloma game T has to face, and I think he was able to mostly suffer KOs and not actual damage. So
Yeah,
I
well, he suffered a death in the first turn in a rookie catcher, so not that big hit. And then not even miss next games because Sage rolled like a million chaos.
yeah, 10 KOs is quite a lot. Also MVP on an owner.
Oh, really? Come on. Yeah, it seems that Sage is coming back from these really rough games that he had at the beginning of the season. But of course, he is Sage,
Yeah.
so you can never count him out.
His team is still suffering from losing some important players, and that Nagel on the Frenzy guy sucks. And to finish it off, you won 2-0 against Metal because Metal played like shit.
Well, I wouldn't say that Metal played like shit. He was feeling like shit. He was ill. He was sick. He told me, but I did not see real gaps into his play style. I knew what he was going to do. He was simply trying to kill me. He made what I will call some small mistakes that costed him the game. One of them would be expending rerolls for grid blocks. I mean, these
Yes.
blocks he was hitting my Claw Mighty Blow Beastman Killer and rolled two pushes and rerolled into, I don't know, maybe two pushes or bringing him down with a pow but not killing him, but the reroll was gone. So he was out of rerolls for turn 4 5, and then he started rolling a lot of dab skulls.
Yes, I
That
did see
left
that.
me, yeah, I mean, I was like 5 million something, sorry, half a million, more than half a million down in TV. So I brought to the pitch one wizard, a couple of bribes, a couple of mercenaries. Just say that, okay, if we are going to die, we go down swinging because this is the Canaries way. We die killing, and things were looking really poor for us from the beginning because again we lost the toss, so that means that Metal got to hit us first, and he injured two beastmen and KO'd another in the first round of blocks. That is huge. So I was defending with 8 players since my turn one. But yeah, I played conservatively. I fouled him a lot, although the fouls did nothing in the entire game, but for a KO. I mean, I gang fouled his strength 5 um, Chaos Warrior, who had managed to dub Skull uh, for 3 turns with like 3 4 assists with my dirty player. I had to burn a bribe to KO him. That really sucked. Come on. But one of these dub skulls left an opening. I sacked the ball and scored in turn 8. And then in the second half, I needed to do some shenanigans, and they worked. So I was able to score really with a lot of luck, to be said, and that was it.
Yep. And the second half was a, quite a mess, I would say. But overall,
Yeah, well,
Metal did.
He killed my chaos warrior, the captain of the team actually, my favorite piece. So I needed to call on the Apo. The Apo managed to remove the dead, but it still missed next game.
Apo is cheat, like always.
Play no, with no Apos like a real man. True?
Yeah, real man. Like, tell to their opponent, oh, this is a really bloody matchup. We are all going to die. Let's fire the Apo before we start and make
Yes.
people put money on the line for every guy we kill. So yes, looking at the leaderboards, like compared to the last two divisions, this is definitely like complete opposite. Instead of very close, like 1 2 points gap, like 1 and 8 is like 4 points difference. This is like 1 and 8 is like 12 points difference,
Yeah.
which is a massive difference. But
Yeah. That.
hmm?
No, no, please.
But like the difference is really mostly from the top. It's like me, you still, even though you lost twice, and Gaudi are really high on points. But when you reach to fourth, it gets like a lot more clumped from fourth to eighth, which is fine considering we have 5 playoff spots. But like if this was Division 2 or Division 3 in terms of like ranking, like even fifth place probably would be out of the race at this point, which is really sad. But this is Division 1. We do have 5 playoff coaches, so it's still quite close, at least
Yeah.
for the bottom slots. I still argue that I qualified pretty much, same with Gaudi, possibly same with you.
No, no, nobody's qualified until let's say week 10. We have enough numbers. I mean, I'm in a good spot. Gaudi's in a better spot. He's 4 points above me. I would say that you have practically guaranteed your participation in the playoffs with 21 points. Because we will be able to grab 1 2 wins more
Yeah.
minimum in the next games.
And I
Uh,
just need to be fifth, which is
yeah, exactly. I think that I need 3 more wins in 6 games. That's doable. And then Sage is coming back. So, but right now, Sage is playing Gaudi at this very moment, and I don't know how the score is going. This is really an exciting game because it's going to define or to help the defining if Sage really is still in the race or he is going to try to struggle or to fight till the end. And also see what happens with Skaven, because if more Skaven die, I mean, it's no good for Gaudi if he gets to the playoffs with no team.
Yeah. Well, for me, the ideal case is they draw after Gaudi loses his one turn and Sage loses all of his team, because then I don't need to face him next season.
Yeah, of Gman 1, everybody wants the best teams to kill each other,
Yes.
right?
Well, if the information we got from Ken is correct, then Sage did lose a pretty important Chaos Warrior. But unless we get a full match report before the end of the recap, I'm not going to be sure what happened. So with that, with looking how insanely big the gap is in the division, and let's go on to the teams. But before that, I feel really sad that like ninth place possibly isn't even a contender for playoffs right now, just because it's 2 points behind Dreamify, which is 2 points behind Reef, which is like
Yeah,
quite a big gap considering that like even with 5 slots, they need to overcome Sage, and Sage has like 9 points more than them.
yeah. There's like no midfield in this competition.
Yeah,
By
you
the
have
way, it's turn 12. Okay, 12 turn 12 for the Sage versus Gaudi game, and Sage is 1-0 down. He's going to pick the ball, but the Rats have just rolled a blitz. So
oh,
the end of this game is going to be fun. Okay, so what else do we have?
let's go over to the teams. Start as always with the high sales being the oldest team in Gman. I think Juan
That's
Ganjan is still here.
he's still here. I don't know if he's going to still here to be here more or not. Depends
Fake
on
skill,
Venachar.
fake skills. The only player
Yeah,
with 2 actual fake skills.
yeah. He's still pretty good, but
Yeah,
it's really bloaty.
yeah, it's 70 TV. Like that's just not there. That's a lineman that you could get for free if he was just plus movement.
160. Yeah,
Yes,
but
Haji?
on the other hand, Venachar simply doesn't have cash to replace him.
Yeah. Eh,
Uh, have they played their next game?
no, they didn't play the week 8 match as of
Ah,
now.
okay. I'm confused now.
Yes. But the team still looks good, but losing Juan Ganjon hurts a lot. He
Yeah,
still has John, who is crazy. His dancers
who is
kinda are
immortal
lacking.
and Longbong.
Yeah, and Longbone, which is a god, but he doesn't really win games on his own. So I kinda understand why you keep Juan Ganjon, because you need that juicy, like agility-based players, which he doesn't really have in his dancers or the other catcher as of now. But yeah, strong team. There is a reason why they've been around for so long. And moving up to the team that doesn't survive anything, it's Dreamify with a sub 1k TV Dark Elf team that includes of like 6 players that actually play next game.
Oh, look at this. It's 80, 890. That's
And he has
Saki. And you have only one position. Really. You have a Blitzer
that
that is
position is
mixed next.
Nigel.
No, it's mixed next. Oh, it's Nigel. Oh, come on.
You keep him because you don't want the loner. That's so sad.
No, you have two positions. One is Nigel, the other is Miss Next. And then you have a couple of block linemen,
And the
one
dirty
wrestle
player.
lineman, and then the Mestin, who is the infamous dirty player, Sneaky Git Dodge.
Uh,
This is a dead team.
yeah, he took a lot of damage. He lost like two
He has money to
positionals.
buy another blitzer, but
Yeah, life is bad. Like he lost two positionals and he's like leap ball sacker lineman to Manusatra, I believe. So now he's pretty much not playing with the team
vale.
anymore. And we might see the second most old Gman team retire at the end of the season, which is a very sad day. But it's just going to be so hard to bounce back from five linemen that are okay, a good blitzer that's MNG, and a niggle blitzer that you keep because you kinda have to, because he's better than another loner. That's not good at all.
No bueno.
No bueno. Next team we have my team, which has like a bazillion money in the bank. Because, like, we had, after the match of Halub, we had like 14 player roster. One of, Ali Cat, the lineman, was MNG'd. So I said, well, I'll fire two of my linemen because they have loads in the bank anyway. And I'll just get better like SPP from the bye week. And I did get a good MVP on this Black Oak, which
So
leveled him
you
up.
made the metal tactic.
Yeah. And now I have 300k pretty much in the bank, which is funny. But I probably will go back to 14, which just leaves me above the 2k mark after I get after I dump all my cash. Yeah, I think my team is good. We have all the guard and some tackle now on a black orc and diving tackle, which was forever around, but it never does anything. Going over, we have the Uruk Haikus, quite a different orc team. They went out of a match against Filbo. Some important MNGs maybe for next match. The troll got guard. The goblin is still very gobliny. But the team didn't change much. It's
Just have a really lovely team.
like
The problem is that they lack development in the Black Orcs.
he lost like a developed Black Orc this season and a developed Blitzer and like a strength 4 lineman, and it really shows that he's missing key players because like the team is not bad, but it's like it doesn't feel like a top end Div 1 team, and it really isn't anymore with losing important players. But it's not a bad team. He's not doing too poorly. He had an okay start, so he's still overall 2-1-4, which is probably not enough to reach playoffs, but maybe it is. After that, we have Reef Cannon, who has like an insanely wild ride of a season. He got bullied early on, then he rolled all the stats, and now he's like slightly taking damage, but his team is still ridiculous because he rolled all the stats.
Mm.
But yeah, someone trimmed his TV a little bit.
Well, it's 1930 squad, and he has lost another blotch blitzer in the last game, I think.
And he has a movement 8 Agi6 guy.
Movement, I just see. Yes, he does. Come on.
This team is
So
stupid.
it's a semi Juan Gunjan
Yeah,
in here in Dark Elf Bleacher style, of course.
yeah,
The witches are very good.
they definitely are. Having
Yeah.
3 high Agi players is really good, and the strength 4 linemen will be good later down the line. The Griff definitely has a strong team, even though his last 2 games weren't the best. But yeah, strong team overall. Definitely up there for playoffs. After that we have Sage, which state is on the line in that match. He's missing his dirty player, which definitely is not ideal for the match against Gaudi. He has 3 good Chaos Warriors, 1 that died, a ball carrier that's not bad, he's slowly building his killer back up, and his Juggernaut guy that is still MNG. He's also building another Frenzy guy, which I quite like, because that's the only way you actually end up firing the Nigel guy. I believe Viking Hop might be asleep, so I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any dirty
No,
player.
no, 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 no. Just checking this.
Your time. Well, hit me up if you found anything interesting when we are close to the end, so we can like say don't watch after this point if you don't want spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yes. Your team. Yes. So MNG on the Chaos Warrior, who you regard as your team leader. You're missing a game on a dirty player, which sucks.
Yeah, that's also sad. But okay, I had to face metal. I mean, I was going to pay a price. These were two MNGs only. The other two injuries were one was death and the other was minus armor. That is equivalent to death in this team. But these were on loners. So okay, quite happy to be fair with the results.
Yes, you still have pretty solid Chaos Warriors, even though two of them are freshly niggled, and your Killer Beastman is not bad, and the tail still looks amazing, and we
Yeah,
always
the
like
tail
it.
is such a good player. I had a lot of fun with him because I mean he's technically he's expendable, so I use him as a semi-expendable player. But also he works really well together with my diving tackle Chaos Warrior. So if the pair usually go together and base the player we want to kill in the next turn because he has to dodge out with a -3 and tackle. So that really puts the pressure on my opponent. But yes, for the next game, who is against who gets T, I wouldn't be having the diving
Yeah,
tackle case. But I think that 3 claw mighty blow plus another strength 4 mighty blow is it's going to be uh, a good wall to hit the Yumis once and again and again.
yeah. Are you planning to get some Beastmen to have a bench for next match?
Yeah, I will probably buy 2 beastmen.
Yeah, that way you have 12.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I have 12, no 13, not 12. Okay, exactly with one bench. Because I don't know how to play without bench. With no
Yeah,
bench is so critical at these high TV team values because removals happen really easily, and you need pieces to fill the gaps and get more tackle zones.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. Next over we have Metal and his very expensive Nergal team. Finally, he got a tackle on his last Nergal warrior, and his team is ridiculous with the Strength 5 Nergal warrior and the Blodge Agi 5 Pestigore and two dirty players.
Dirty player.
Yeah,
Dirty player is nice.
the team didn't
Yes.
change much. Because
No,
no,
he leveled one Chaos Warrior.
yeah,
One Knuckle Warrior, sorry. I don't know if it was the ex girlfriend or the other. Yeah, but possibly he got tackled
yeah, he took tackle on the
in,
ex-girlfriend.
so he's focused really on kill, 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 kill.
Yeah, he wants to be able to deal with elves. He really needs to win most of his matches to end up qualifying this season. But yeah, his team is still looking quite good even after a frustrating loss against you.
Yeah.
Not very changed, still very scary Nurgle.
No, I did not put any dent on his team.
Yes. T lost his ogre sometime in the past. I don't even remember. It was pointless. The ogre was destined to die. He doesn't have dirty player. He still has John and Wilfred pretty much being amazing alongside three other not bad blitzers, but his catcher and lineman game is lacking, and no ogre as well with no bench. Pretty much a team based around a few not bad positionals, but it's not quite enough, I would say, right now to prove to be good with a 205 record this season. Anything you would like to add? Oh well. Uh, Someone. I don't know, it seems like my internet might be down, so I'm going to finish this one off myself. If someone joins, they joins. Ravenclaws, by Gaudi. They lost an important ball sucking gutter runner. So the team still looks completely scary with a Nigel Linerat. They have a natural one-turner, a good start for a utility gutter runner, two good killers, a good thrower, and two line rats with guard. One is niggled and a dirty player. Losing the ball sucker, which was horns, two heads, wrestle, strip, is going to be tough, but the team is really strong, and he's with a cracking record, and I believe he pretty much is in a spot where he qualifies and is probably the main contender to stop me from taking first place, or maybe I'm the main contender to stop him from getting first place, depending on your view on life. After that, we have the Philbo's Fighting Fist, coached by Philbo. He has got some fresh guard, but not a lot of changes. The Pawn and Earl Dan of Half France are pending level ups. But the team is not changed really since we last saw them 2 weeks ago. I'm still going Hangzord because we are really slow and really bad at it, and I lost Viking Corp and Infinite Pink randomly because Discord is really bad, and I'm really trying to finish this quickly because I want to go to bed. Yes, it's like 1 a.m. here. Not good times. I'm gonna finish in like 10 minutes, and it's really weird doing it alone, and I'm probably very boring. But oh well. Yeah, Philbo's team not very changed. Only 3 guards still. Pretty good 2 killers. The plus strength is really strong on his team, but he's lacking guard and he's somewhat lacking tackle, and only 1 dirty player might be not enough. Next we have Manusatra and his orcs, which is quite an orc team, if I would say so myself. He has a 7 guard on total with 2 plus strengths, quite a lot of mighty blow as well. This black orc, which I don't like, 13 men, no dirty player, boo, but a strong orc team. Quite a lot of guard and a lot of strength up really allows you to handle bash teams and do some really mean things to people like Viking Cop. And for the last team before I entirely collapse, we have the Undead by General Marauder, Bane of the Living, and they are doing okay in terms of having their team not completely explode, but they are not doing so well in terms of the record. The Mummy is unchanged from the start of the season, same with the Whites I believe. 2 of the ghouls managed to pick up a block during the season, and the zombies are quite the same. A lot of Dauntless. I don't really get why. So that was me finishing up Division 1. Hopefully it wasn't too weird to have me alone. Random stats, we had 9 dirty players in Division 1, which means Division 2 right now is the best division in Gman if dirty player is the only important thing. If the important thing is who is on top, then Division 1 is the best, and I'm completely not biased. And that is, I believe, going to be this week's recap of G-Man. I have no clue what's going with the Sage game. I don't really know what's happening with Discord. I was joined earlier by both Infinite Pink and Viking Cop, who ate a lot of Cheetos. Now I'm alone. Thanks a lot to anyone who watched us on Twitch or on the YouTube. Thanks for the co-caster when they lived, for being here. And hopefully next week this is going to be faster, better, less confusing, and I'm not going to end up alone. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.